What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 7FP 156. One touch, blue tilde. Marco picked up the phone bug, his eyes fixed on Parasparrow, ready to fight at any moment. We have arrived, I have seen you, and we are ready to go to war. Parasparrow will be handed over to you, and we will meet at New Cake Island. Yake looked down at the two fleets on the sea from a high altitude and said lightly, hung up the phone bug, and waved his hand to let the war behemoth move on. After hearing Yake's command to start the war, Marco's mouth twitched, showing a wicked smile. Ace, let's go to war. Yake and the others have arrived, let us take the lead. Marco jumped into the air, turned into a human beast form and flew in the air, using Qingyan to condense the tail feathers of the phoenix in his hands and turn them into flame fists to attack Parasparrow's fleet. Ace didn't dare to show weakness after seeing Marco's attack. His lower body turned into flames and flew into the sky. Dozens of huge fireballs were shot out in succession, and the battle was about to start. Damn it, they really dare. Candy wall. A huge wall of pink candy blocked the front of the ship, but Marco and Ace's attacks were accompanied by high temperatures. Although they blocked the attack, the hard wall had already melted into syrup and lost its due effect. Ha ha ha, your candy seems to be afraid of my flames, then I won't be polite. Ace laughed when he saw the candy that had melted into a pool of liquid, and a flame rose and attacked without hesitation. Damn it, I forgot that he is a Mara fruit-capable user. Hurry up and inform Mom, hurry up. Parasparrow tried his best to block the attack of the two, and arranged for his men to contact the ant as soon as possible. Mom, the Whitebeard pirates are at war with us. Ace's ability is too restraining for me. I'm afraid I won't be able to resist for long, I need support. Parasparrow panicked and applied to the ant for rescue, while constantly dealing with the flame attacks of Ace and Marco. Several ships had been sunk by them. What? Why does Ace dare to fight with me? Katakuri will go to support you immediately, no matter what. You will stand up to my mother, did you hear me? The ant roared furiously. Her temper was always cloudy, but the Whitebeard pirates, whom she regarded as ants, dared to bite her back, no matter what, she couldn't swallow it. But Big Mom probably doesn't have time to deal with the Whitebeard pirates anymore. Advertisement. First, let's say hello to Big Mom with 10 super railguns. Yake pointed at the castle in the center of New Cake Island and laughed. The soldiers behind him immediately adjusted their direction and aimed at Big Mom's castle. Target is aimed. Ready to launch. The soldier manipulating the electromagnetic gun pressed the button, and the barrel of the gun shone with azure blue light. Katakuri, who was just about to go to sea to support Parasparrow, suddenly stopped, and the future flashed in his mind. No, someone has invaded 10,000 kingdoms. Katakuri immediately gave up supporting Parasparrow, turned around and ran towards the Cake Castle. All the ministers of the Charlotte family were notified by Katakuri, and immediately set off for the New Cake Island. Bang bang tilde. There was a burst of firing, and 10 beams of orange-yellow light as thick as buckets penetrated through the Cake Castle, and Auntie's new home suddenly became ruins again. A fat hand wearing colorful rings stretched out from the ruins, lifted the stones that were pressing on him, and the terrifying momentum shot straight into the sky. Hoo courage, this what big. Big Mom's scarlet eyes looked at the sky. The attack came from there must be something in the sky. The spear of Elbaf, Waigwo. The ant took off Napoleon and turned it into a huge sword, a huge purple majestic sword spirit, quickly approaching the giant war beast. Seeing this, Yake teleported into the air, shattered the sword energy with a punch, and landed directly in front of the ant, with the wolf tail stuck on the ground. It's you, B********* to Yake. Do you want to start a war? Big Mom clenched her fists tightly, her eyes full of hatred. Congratulations, you got the answer right. I'm here to kill you today. I'm very interested in your soul fruit. Mama Tilda, it's up to you. You didn't know where you were when I became the 4 emperors. Don't think that you were invincible after killing Whitebeard. Who do you think you are? Advertisement. Yake didn't speak, but stretched out his hand silently. The white halo became more dazzling, and the atmosphere began to shatter. The ant just wanted to speak, but she just went back and stared blankly at the white light in Yake's hand. She couldn't be wrong. This is definitely Whitebeard's ability. I heard that he got the shock fruit a long time ago, and now he has his eye on her. Soul fruit. This is impossible. What kind of monster are you? How could someone eat 3 devil fruits? Big Mom has never felt such a strong sense of threat, because Yake has subverted the common sense of this world. How terrifying is it that the top devil fruits of the 3 series are brought together on one person? No one knows, but with Yake's strength, it's definitely not too bad. Mom, are you okay? Katakuri arrived in time, and there were some brothers and sisters behind him, staring at Yake covetously. At this time the ant suddenly laughed. Mama Tilda, Yake boy, even if you have the power of that old man Whitebeard, you are so arrogant that you broke into my territory alone. You really don't know what to do. Yake didn't deny it, with a faint smile on his face. Mom, he didn't come here alone, look at the sky. Katakuri suddenly pointed to the sky and shouted. Everyone's eyes turned to the sky. A huge battleship revealed its figure, and several small black spots quickly landed from the war behemoth. Auntie, I will never underestimate you. So all the crew members of the Ark Pirates are here. By the way, the Whitebeard pirates are also my allies. Yake said to the ant with a half smile. Only from the sky can he fall into the local base camp without leaking, and this is the only one in the entire pirate world that has this technology. The ant shouted hysterically. Damn B asterisk 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 D. It seems that you really want to go to war. Kill them for me. Yake pulled out his giant sword and looked around. Arc pirates, attack. Darkness descends. Reiju landed on the ground first, and a deep dark mist permeated the entire battlefield. Objects that came into contact with the black mist were assimilated by the darkness and gradually eroded by the darkness. The buildings on Cake Island suddenly disappeared. Chocolate feast. Anna's lion fruit is the power to change the terrain. The ground and buildings have become softened plasticine, allowing Anna to shape it freely. According to her words, it is like melted chocolate. The crew members with large clearing skills activated their abilities one after another to clear the weaker children of the Charlotte family ahead of time. The war between the Big Mom Pirates and the Ark Pirates has officially started. 157. Big Mom's Children. The terrain of the new Cake Island has changed several times and lost its original appearance. There are basically no unknown people who can stand on the court now. The Charlotte family included Katakuri, Daifuku, Owen, Cracker, etc., and other forces were coming to Cake Island to support them, and they launched a counterattack without showing any weakness. Cookie soldiers. Intensive clapping sounds came from inside a biscuit soldier, and countless biscuit crumbs floated in the air to form new biscuit soldiers. Soon the field was full of tall biscuit soldiers, staring at Reiju, Robin and others. Lamp Demon. Dafu rubbed against his body frantically, and his body became like an oil lamp emitting cloud of light blue smoke. A lamp demon with a fierce face and a big knife in his hand floated beside Dafu, ready to fight at any time. Big Mom and Jacques are confronting each other. Before the two of them make a move, their respective men are fighting fiercely. Although Big Mom's men are far more numerous than Yake's crew, the situation of the battle is deadlocked. Victory inspired, Bello Betty, the commander of the Eastern Army, of the Revolutionary Army, joined the battle, waving a large flag in his hand, and everyone in the Ark Pirates, who were also allies, felt greatly encouraged, and an inexplicable force poured into everyone's heart, full of energy all over. Yake also felt this power and couldn't help but turn his head to look. Betty wears a red top hat, short purple hair, and sunglasses. Wearing a red long-sleeved vest on the upper body, a tie around the neck, leather gloves, and no underwear. Wearing a long tail skirt on the lower body and red boots on the legs. As the flags in their hands kept waving, the attacks of the Ark Pirates became more and more powerful, and their power also increased. This is an auxiliary ability that can increase the status of teammates. It is the opposite of Perona's negativity. It can give people the power to resist, so that people will not shrink back and move forward bravely. While fighting, Sabo looked around, as if looking for Ace. There is a flaw. Waiguo. Seeing that Yake was distracted, the ant launched an attack without hesitation, provoked a sword and flew towards Yake. Ding! Yake didn't even look at it and blocked the ant's sword energy with a knife before turning his attention to the ant's side. Advertisement, fat woman, you don't talk about martial arts, you engage in sneak attacks. After hearing this, the ant's momentum rose again, and she picked up the giant sword and slashed with an unrivaled momentum. Although she was huge and fat, she was extremely flexible. HMPH tilde just in time to come. Yake blocked Big Mom's fatal blow with a horizontal knife, and punched Big Mom in the stomach and sent him flying, but Big Mom quickly stabilized her body in the air and continued to attack Yake. The Conqueror's collision of the two swept the entire battlefield, and black thunder overflowed. Don't look at Anna, the captain doesn't need your help, go and throw stones at them. Robin said to Anna in the air that their opponents are Owen and Baron Dandan, both of whom have demon fruit power. Although their abilities are dangerous, Robin is enough to deal with them. Okay, meow. Damn eggs, Anna must make you into omelet rice, meow. There was a crackling sound coming from Anna. Recently, she has exercised the static electricity well. Although it is not as good as Yake, it is still no problem to put tens of millions of voltages. Go Anna. Hey. Tens of millions of volts. Robin turned his head to look at Owen after seeing Anna's attack. He is a hot fruit capable person. If he attacks him without adding an armed color, he will be easily burned, so Robin is going to make a single point breakthrough. Six-wheeled armor anchor flower. Hands clasped together, six pitch black arms grabbed Owen's neck, arms, and feet, forcing him to stop his charge and wrestle with Robin's illusioned arms. Van Oka. Shoot him in the stomach, he's a demon fruit power. Robin called for Fan Aoka's fire support in the team voice. Robin played control, Fan Oka output from a distance, perfect. Don't shoot him in the heart because he's greedy for his devil fruit. Now dead Reiju may be too late to move. Receive. Momo 50 times electromagnetic bomb. The Van Oka scope hidden in a hidden corner locked on Owen's stomach, and an electromagnetic bomb was fired instantly. Fan Oka greatly strengthened the speed and a little bit of size, a skill he had mastered after a long period of practice. Advertisement. When Owen was locked, he felt bad when he heard Robin's words. He ran his ability crazily to heat his body, and Robin had to let him go, but it was too late. As long as the enemy's figure appeared in Van Oka's scope, then he cannot escape. The biscuit soldier controlled by Cracker himself rushed towards Reiju quickly, and the sword in his hand stabbed Reiju while sending out a powerful shockwave of sword energy, whose power should not be underestimated. Cracker gritted his teeth and prepared to deal with this woman himself, otherwise the violence would not work at all. Reiju dissipated into a black mist and emerged from behind Charlotte, and Black Uzumaki emerged from the palm of his hand, directly piercing through the biscuit armor's defense. Reiju is dealing with Cracker. His ability is very troublesome. He continuously creates biscuit soldiers and hides in the biscuits to steal output. At the beginning, he is against Jinbei, but Jinbei is a bit too troublesome to beat him. Reiju let him deal with it, others are gone. Waves pretzels. Dark water, dark cave. Seeing Owen's appearance, Robin didn't soften his heart in the slightest. A spear made of an arm directly hit Owen on the head, making him lose his combat effectiveness. After a muffled sound, Owen looked at his stomach, and a big bloody hole appeared on his waist. It was over, he was useless. Reiju raised a smile at the corner of his mouth, and released the dark water at the place where the biscuit soldiers were most dense. The biscuit soldiers are all products of abilities. Although they have strong defense, they have no armament hockey and no ability to fly. This is useless to me, I have already predicted your future. The black palms pressed tightly against Cracker's body, making him feel weak for a while. Reiju turned on elementalization in advance, leaving a big hole in his body. Even if armament hockey was added, it would not hurt Reiju at all. Once it touches the dark water, it will be sucked into the dark space and disappear immediately. The biscuit soldiers disappeared in pieces. The pink petals fell. Robin lowered his hands and lowered his glasses, and he could see the elegant demeanor of the intellectual beauty at a glance. HMPH but that's all. Originally, she only wore glasses occasionally to study the text, but Yake seemed to like the way she wore glasses, saying that it could increase attack speed and crit. Although she couldn't understand, as long as Yake liked it, it would be fine. Dazzling 100 blossoms. Heavy strike gun, 158. Brothers fighting side by side. What did you do? Cracker felt as if he had fallen into the sea, and his proud abilities disappeared in an instant. Dark shock. Naturally, Reiju didn't explain too much. The arm released the building that had been swallowed before and spewed out, directly burying Cracker on the spot. Reiju didn't change the target because he was not dead yet. The construction waste began to vibrate, a biscuit soldier regenerated. Cracker didn't dare to be careless anymore. This woman's ability is too weird, like the nemesis of all demon fruit power. Sure enough, he didn't die, but be careful, because I'm going to be serious. Reiju flew into the sky, and the sky darkened. Dark poison arrow rain. Reiju not only possesses the power of dark fruit, but also has the ability to transform bloodlines, which is equivalent to adding a revised version of poisonous fruit. Before obtaining dark fruit, Reiju relied on venom for output. The black and purple arrow rain washed the ground, and Cracker had nowhere to hide. He could only summon biscuit soldiers to block the arrow rain for him, but the others were not so lucky. Can be highly toxic. Wow, looks like it's starting to fight. Marco, we need to speed up, brothers, full speed ahead. Ace smiled as he looked at the new cake island, which was constantly making loud noises. The last time it was so lively was when he was executed. Parasparrow has been tightly bound by seastone chains, and he is probably the first to kneel. Ha ha ha, I can't wait for Ace. Those who came to help out were all the Whitebeard pirates, including Yizang, Bista, Josie, Jinbudo, etc. They were gearing up for a long time, and the Big Mom pirates took away a lot of their territory, already dissatisfied. After Whitebeard's death, they were the strongest contenders for the 5th Emperor. Their power was not comparable to that of a supernova. It's just that after Whitebeard's death, he had been busy in the turf war. Hey I can't wait to meet Sabo. Ace squatted on the bow and pressed his hat, grinning. No, the Whitebeard pirates are here. Ace and others were also found after the support fleet from various islands in the world landed on the island. Ace, Marco, Joes, Stop them. Advertisement. Smoothie licked his lower lip, and slowly drew the giant sword from behind. Water sword. A pink slash split the waves of the sea and flew straight in the direction of Ace. Let me come. I have long wanted to understand the swordsmanship of the 3 desert generals, Star Smoothie. Vista pulled out his 2 knives and showed an unruly smile, and an X-shaped sword chi slashed out, colliding violently with Smoothie's sword chi, and both of them melted into nothingness. Foil Vista. Hey, it looks like they're all here. All were ready to fight, and they must not be allowed to intervene in the battle. Smoothie pointed his sword forward, and all kinds of guns rang out, and it was necessary to prevent the Whitebeard pirates from landing on the island. Katakuri looked at the soldiers who kept dying in battle and the brothers and sisters who were defeated, and the anger in his heart grew stronger. He really wanted to help his lovely brothers and sisters, but the man in front of him put too much pressure on him, so he couldn't do it at all. Get away. Sir, your heart is disturbed. Fujitora held the sword behind his back and walked towards Katakuri step by step, with an invisible momentum that made people breathless. Corn rice cake. Katakuri launched an attack without saying a word. The particularity of the waxy fruit made him have the characteristics of Logia and Paramecia at the same time. The blessing of Conqueror's Haki made him the strongest man in the Charlotte family. Gravity knife tiger. The purple robe fluttered, and the majestic gravity directly caused Katakuri's attack to fly and directly act on him. In order not to fall to the ground and forcefully get rid of the influence of gravity, his breathing became a little short. No wonder Captain Yake asked me to deal with you. It's really not easy, so the old man won't hold back. Fujitora got rid of the influence of gravity and floated on the ground, and rushed towards Katakuri quickly. The aftermath of the fierce battle caused the ground to crack. Dragon Claw. Sabo made the Dragon's Claw gesture first, then condensed armament Haki on his hand, rushed to Charlotte Opera and hit a powerful blow. Although Opera has the ability of Cream Fruit, his strength is not worth it mention. Devil Fruit's ability development and physical skills are not very good, and he was directly knocked out by Sabo. Big Mom really has so many children. Sabo wiped the sweat off his brow, just as he knocked Apella into the air. His fellow brothers surrounded him, but Sabo was not nervous. His fighting power was enough to deal with this situation. Fire Punch. Advertisement. The huge flaming fist directly knocked the four of them into the air, and Sabo raised his head in surprise to look at Ace in midair. Sabo. Long time no see. Ace. The two brothers reunited after a long absence and embraced each other tightly. Ace's tears flowed out like water, wet Sabo's clothes, and patted Sabo's back excitedly. Great, you're really alive, I just knew. Dragon's breath. The two started to talk about the past again, which made Snag very embarrassed and felt very bad to be ignored. The two brothers separated quickly, and Sabo's fists touched the ground lightly. Then, with a zero-distance attack similar to Kunjin, he instantly punched the ground at high speed, causing the ground to shatter with Sabo as the center. Like a dragon's, it smashed the entire ground like breathing, and at the same time produced huge smoke and explosions, knocking down the entire rock formation. The noisy battlefield had become the foil for the two of them at this time, and an atmosphere different from the battlefield gradually began to spread. Go to hell. Welcome back, Sabo. Ace's voice was a little choked up, his hands supported Sabo's shoulders, his red eyes stared at the tearful Sabo, and then they hugged each other tightly. Ace landed slowly, meeting Sabo's fist. Tisk 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 tilde man. A long burning column shoots upwards and hits the sky in an instant. When in midair, it shoots downwards and hits the ground, filling the deep pit created by Sabo. Snag is severely injured and dies instantly. Yuan Desert Star Snug picked up a big knife and destroyed the atmosphere of the brothers' reunion, and the two had no choice but to temporarily separate. Damn guys. Kill you, haha, Sabo, I almost forgot that now is not a good time to reminisce. Marco folded his hands and shook his head, muttering words. Flame ring fire pillar. Snag was directly knocked down by the huge impact and fell to the ground, but Ace had already flew into the air at this time. We can finally fight together, Ace. 159. The photo of the nun. The battle became more and more intense, and the battle between Big Mom and Yake also became fierce. Yake knocked Big Mom into the air with one blow, and the power of shock fruit could easily hurt Big Mom's monster-like body. Big Mom, known as the Steel Balloon, retreated steadily under Yake's fierce attack. Damn, Yake, you just want to fight against me? Why? The ant became more and more furious, surging air burst out of her body, and her scarlet eyes stared fiercely at Yake. Auntie, don't say something unnutritious. In this sea, the strong are always respected, aren't they? Yake hooked his fingers and motioned for Ant to come again. He hasn't beaten enough yet. In a normal state, Auntie's strength is somewhat stronger than Kaido's, and her physical strength is comparable to the awakened state of a zone fruit ability user. It is indeed a bit tricky, but her weakness is also obvious, and her emotions are extremely unstable. Will get out of hand. Yake has been provoking Ant's nerves, making her gradually lose her mind, so that she can take it down as quickly as possible. Prometheus, Zeus. The ant let out a roar, and the two homies quickly merged with the ant, and the old woman began to act. The flames on her head were burning fiercely, and she was stepping on a thundercloud, looking like a madman. Kill you. Yake held the end of the wolf tightly, and the ant's counterattack began. The violent majestic sword spirit and deadly slashes followed one after another. Yake had to deal with it carefully. He didn't want to get hurt. After all, it hurts to cut his body. Tisk 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 tilde. I didn't expect that the mighty ant would have no power to fight back in front of God. It's really surprising. Capone Bej, the captain of the Flame Tank Pirates, watched the battle between Big Mom and Yak with a cigar in his mouth. Although he joined Big Mom's banner, he never really joined, and was always waiting for the opportunity to replace him. But now it seems that there is no chance. The power of the four emperors is far beyond his imagination. Even though the ant was beaten badly by Yake, the power of the ant is still not something he can contend with, and he has not been exposed. Boss, should we continue with our plan? Werther flicked his long tongue and raised the black revolver in his hand, eager to try. Before that, he had been watching the Battle of Reiju, the legendary princess of Germa, and it was exactly the same as what he saw in the story. If Gotti hadn't pulled him away, otherwise, he would have died under Reiju's AoE skills. Of course we have to continue. This god came prepared. Auntie will lose this time. Let's go help Yake. Have you brought anything? Bej exhaled the smoke ring and turned to look at Gotti. Advertisement, bring it a long time ago, boss, look. Gotti held a portrait in his hand, and the person in the portrait was the person most valued by the ant, the nun Carmelite. Heh, let me add another fire to this battle. Bej let his men enter his body, and he joined the battlefield between Big Mom and Yake with the photo of the nun. Auntie, look what this is. Bega's stature is very short, but his voice is very loud. The ant looked down when she heard this. Sister, Bej, what do you want? Are you going to betray the Charlotte family? Seeing the nun's photo, Auntie's eyes showed a moment of warmth, but it was quickly replaced by anger. She knew Bega's thoughts at a glance, but this was also a conspiracy. If the photo of the nun is broken, Big Mom will no longer be able to control her emotions, lose her mind, and become a beast that only relies on instinct to kill. Ha, I have never sincerely joined the Charlotte family, so how can I say betrayal? Bej laughed wildly, and didn't pay attention to the ant at all. Under the desperate eyes of the ant, he punched and smashed the nun's portrait. No, Big Mom covered her head in pain, and the ear-piercing screams resounded throughout the battlefield. Almost everyone immediately covered their ears, but Big Mom's screams were too harsh, and it was useless at all. Those who are farther away are fine, but those who are closer will suffer. Yake frowned and released an electromagnetic barrier, which weakened Big Mom's screaming sound, and the sonic attack could only be defended in this way. Yake looked at Bej in disgust. He hated others to intervene in his battle. None tilde woo woo woo. Ah! The ant raised her hands high as if her mother was dead, and the surrounding buildings were shattered by the piercing sound waves. Bej. Yake, I must kill you. After the ant cried and howled like wolves, she fell into a strange calm, and a depressive atmosphere enveloped Bega's heart, and she was sweating coldly, because the ant was staring at him right now. Advertisement, damn. Attack me. There was a small hole in Bega's body, and a company of soldiers fired a volley, hitting the ant's body like scratching. Yake teleported to Bega's side, and sent Bej to a long voyage with a big foot, and the annoying guy finally got out. The ant screamed in pain, and a hideous scar was cut on her indestructible skin, and the severe pain also awakened the ant's consciousness. The wolf's end with the black and red sword body was immediately covered by the white light. This blow was enough to crush the bones of ordinary people, and it directly slashed on the ant. Yake couldn't help but click his tongue. Monster, definitely a monster. The ant's current state is very wrong. I don't know whether it is conscious or unconscious, but this does not affect Yake's beating her. Kill you. 3 years of life is worth it. Die. Damn B asterisk 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 D. Yake picked up the wolf's end and slashed at the ant, but it was bounced off. What's the situation? Isn't the defense reduced by running away? However, Yake is not a vegetarian, but Yake, who is not afraid that the movement will affect his crew, has long been awakened. Yake dealt with Big Mom's attack cautiously. He had never encountered such a situation when he was fighting Whitebeard and Kaido. Presumably this is the special ability of the Soul Fruit. Empty Shock Jade Fragment. Big Mom's strength, speed, and defense have been strengthened in all directions, and every gesture has the power to destroy the world. What the hell? Hud tilde Yake, you really p asterisk 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 d me off. I want you to know that I've been able to dominate the sea for so many years, but I'm not doing nothing for nothing. Ah tilde. Combustion life improves strength. Interesting. Such a soul fruit. Yake wants it even more. The ant's body fluctuated for a while, and her obese body gradually lost weight. The breath on her body became stronger every time she lost weight. At the same time, the ant took out a ball of light and swallowed it. Things that don't know the heights of the sky and the depths of the earth, get out of here. The ant has started to explode, and she is willing to exchange her own life in order to kill Yake. The price of this move is definitely heavy, otherwise the ant will use it from the beginning. 160. The final counterattack, Emperor Sword, Broken Blade. With a wave of Big Mom's hand, several sword chi broke through the air and the ground trembled. The power that Big Mom manifested at this time has far exceeded that of Shanks. Drink tilde. Yake yelled loudly, the muscles on his arm were constricted, and he punched the ant's sword energy. The violent slash instantly disappeared. Click to resolve the battle. Go to hell. Fat woman. Yake jumped up, ready to insert the wolf powder into the ant's neck artery to bleed her, but the sword body was greatly hindered, and it was stuck in the ant's neck after being inserted less than halfway. I don't believe it. Yake swung his fist to fly the hand that the ant grabbed towards him, and urged the fruit to make the sword body start to vibrate at high frequency. Yake didn't believe this evil. Could it be that your ant's meat is made of Edmund alloy, and it can't be cut? Ah tilde. The ant howled in pain, like an evil ghost roaring, and directly knocked Yake away with a punch, and pulled out the wolf end forcefully from her neck. Blood flowed out like a fountain, and the wolf end was thrown away, no trace. The ant looked around, her face gradually became gloomy, the Charlotte family was gone, and the new Cake Island was full of their corpses, the Charlotte family was over. Ark pirates, Yake, Whitebeard pirates, if my mother dies here today, I will definitely not make it easier for you. As soon as the ant finished speaking, a larger soul light cluster was pulled out of her body by her, in exchange for more powerful power. The ant lost a lot of weight and her face was haggard, like an old man on the verge of death. The ant is already crazy. With the determination to kill everyone here when she is at her strongest, she directly gave up Yake and rushed towards the members of the Ark pirates. Go away. Yake immediately understood what Ant was thinking. If he wanted to leave in front of him and kill other people, he would have underestimated me, Yake. Earthquake punch. The situation was urgent, and Yake didn't have time to take back the wolf powder, so he went straight to it with his bare hands. I didn't say you could leave casually, old woman. Boom. Reiju saw that Yake was fighting with Big Mom again, and looked around the situation of the battle. The popularity of the Charlotte family was exhausted, and it was time to finish. Ark Pirate Map. Solve the battle as soon as possible. Advertisement. All members who were fighting received the message from Reiju at the same time, and their hands and feet were a little faster, in order to solve the opponent as soon as possible. Hey, Sabo, the battle seems to be over soon, let's work harder, don't let others underestimate us. Ace and Sabo looked at each other with a smile, and looked for the next enemy together. Marco kicked a fat man away, and seeing Ace and Sabo leave, he was secretly sad, so he had to release the inexplicable emotions in his heart on his opponent. Look, the homies are all. Mom is calling them. How could it be? Mom actually used that trick. The children of the Charlotte family saw Homies' soul rushing towards the ant, and they knew that this was the last ability of the ant, the awakening of the soul fruit ability. This is. Yake watched Homies pouring into the ant's body continuously, and had a bad feeling. The ability of Paramisha fruit is too weird. Could this posture be the awakening of devil fruit? Gia tilde Yake, I will not only cram your tendons and chop your bones, but I will also torture your soul. The ant let out a terrifying laugh. The souls of Zeus and Prometheus had been taken away by the ant, leaving only the weapon Napoleon. Napoleon's sword body was covered with miserable green fluorescence, and the whole sword body began to become unreal. A green flame ignited on the head of the ant, and the whole person looked like a ghost crawling out of hell. Stop pretending, I have a showdown, and I will transform myself. Seeing that the ant released her awakening, then I can't lag behind. Thunder of the void. The sky above the head cracked countless gaps, and the purple thunder and lightning continued to strike Yake from the gaps in the void, casting a gorgeous thunder armor for Yake, and the momentum of the whole person suddenly rose a lot, overwhelming everyone was out of breath. The combined awakening technique of shockfruit and thunderfruit, you will be the first to test the water, ant. Yake looked at Big Mom provocatively. This is the fusion awakening skill he realized after fighting I Am. He used shockfruit to create a crack in the space, and summoned the thunder in the void from the crack to strengthen himself. The bottom pressing skill that can only be released by having two devil fruits at the same time. Yake originally wanted to use it to deal with Uranus, but he didn't expect to use it on Big Mom first. There is no way. Yake is not sure whether the ant can directly attack the soul, so he has to fight her with the strongest state, and Yake has no patience to wait until the oil lamp of the ant runs out. Dimensional slash. Yake condensed the nether thunder into a large sword, and the brilliant purple flashed past. Boom tilde. The ant held the hilt of the sword with one hand and put one hand on the body of the sword to barely block Yake's blow. Advertisement. Gia tilde I should come, soul blade. Yake's pupils shrank, the alarm bell rang wildly, and he teleported away immediately. Hee tilde will you only run away? Tremble in front of the Queen of Soul? I accept your soul. Dimensional slash. No, none, I really don't have the strength. No, get up and kill him. Yake immediately understood the meaning of the ant's words. He didn't expect that he could push the ant to such a point. The ant's cards are really enough. Don't hit me, it hurts. A figure floated out of the ant's body. Jacques had seen it not long ago, the nun Carmelite. Linlin, kill him quickly. Get up, are you Charlotte Linlin or a Carmelite? There was a huge purple sword stuck in Big Mom's chest, and it was slowly dissipating. Big Mom's aura gradually weakened, and she was dying. Yake looked at it and shook his head. It was another family ethics drama. Yake appeared behind the ant, and the thunder armor on his body turned into particles and gradually dissipated, revealing Yake's strong body. Carmelite's spirit body actually has two voices, like two souls. Could it be that the ant has been sharing the same soul with the nun? Yake seems to have discovered the incredible truth. He tilde. Yake recondensed the void sword and pointed at Big Mom with a curious look. Dragon of the Nether. The roar of the two thunder dragons resounded throughout the world, and everyone couldn't help turning their heads to look at the place where the two emperors were fighting. Auntie, your time of death has come, farewell. Yake summoned two purple thunder dragons to surround Big Mom and used thunder to break the darkness. 161. Soul fruit. At this time, the situation has changed again. In addition to the nun's soul, there were some children's souls. They talked a lot, and the ant's body soul became the weaker party. Yake was thoughtful. Carmelite was the owner of the soul fruit of the first person, and later Charlotte Linlin was adopted by Carmelite when the ant was a child, and lived with the children she found everywhere, until one day they all disappeared. They may have been eaten by the ant, but Carmelite is a soul fruit capable person. She did not die, but survived in another way, parasitic in the soul of the ant, so that the ant showed a dual personality shape. The souls of the children are too weak. They can only be suppressed by the souls of Carmelite and Big Mom, and even drawn out to become Big Mom's three strongest homies. Carmelite, has Big Mom always been under your control? After thinking for a while in Yake's mind, he continued to ask, with the sword in his hand pointing at the ant's throat. Gia tilde don't you recognize me so soon? I'm a victim, ha 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 tilde? The soul of the nun Carmelite smiled arrogantly, with a ferocious face, and Yake frowned when she saw it. He tilde. As if the tip of the sword was pierced in, Carmelite suddenly became nervous and shouted in panic. Stop it, that's the body I got with great difficulty. The corner of Yake's mouth raised slightly, and seeing Carmelite's state, he gradually had a little understanding of the inexplicable relationship between I Am and soul fruit. Tell me everything honestly, or die for me. Rayleigh, come and help the captain. It is impossible for Yake to let go of the soul fruit. First ask Rayleigh to come over and get ready. Okay, captain, we'll be there soon. Advertisement. Rayleigh glanced at Yake's direction and hung up the phone, smiling charmingly at the minions who surrounded him. Sorry, the captain is calling someone. I can't fight with you, Dark Storm. As soon as the words fell, a black Uzumaki appeared behind Rayleigh, gradually forming a black violent tornado, sucking everything on the ground into the eye of the storm and blending into the darkness. Darkness released. Rayleigh snapped his fingers, the tornado exploded, and all the objects and people sucked in were thrown out, so there were a bunch of mosaic people around Rayleigh, and the surviving minions didn't dare to look at Rayleigh again. F*K off escaped. On Yake's side, after a peaceful and friendly conversation, Carmelite happily told Yake the story of the past, but his expression was a little unconvinced. It was her birthday that day, but she ate everyone. Fortunately, I am a soul fruit capable user. Although my body is gone, I can occupy her soul. I didn't expect that she not only had a terrifying body, but also had such a strong soul. I had to extract the souls of the children to fight her soul together. In the end, I failed and was forced to merge with her soul. It's not a complete failure. Without my soul, she wouldn't be able to use the power of the soul fruit. It's all thanks to me that she is today. Yake was silent, thinking about the meaning of Carmelite's words. Boy, Thank you very much. This monster's soul has never been so weak. As long as you don't harm my body and let me assimilate her soul at ease, we can cooperate later, and I can join you. Be your help. Carmel smiled evilly. She has been secretly obliterating the consciousness of the ant and other children since her consciousness was fully awakened. As long as she is given a little time, her plan will succeed. Reiju, it's your turn. Yake felt that he knew enough, whether it was Big Mom or Carmelite, they could die. Reiju took a step forward, stretched out the hand of the black mist, and pressed it against Big Mom's head, and the Carmelite suddenly let out a piercing scream. Ah! Damn B******, ch, what did you do? Why did my ability disappear? Ah tilde. The power of the soul fruit was temporarily suppressed by Reiju, unable to take effect. Carmelite and all the souls returned to Big Mom's body, and fell into a coma together with Big Mom. Ba tilde bang tilde. Advertisement Big Mom's head was chopped off by Yake, and all the homies were turned into fly ash at the same time, and the soul of Big Mom's body began to dissipate, and the unwilling roar of Carmelite could be heard vaguely. Captain, fruit, her energy is starting to dissipate. Reiju turned to Yake and said. Yake immediately took out a lot of fruits and put them in a neat stack for Reiju to choose. Mom is dead. That's impossible. Impossible. Mother is invincible. How could she? The homies created by Big Mom dissipated, and there was only one possibility, and that was her death. The children of the Charlotte family, some are happy and some are worried. There are not a few who love the ant, and there are also those who hate and fear the ant. Sir, it seems that our captain has won. Do you want to fight again? Fujitora saw that Katakuri, who had been fighting him tenaciously, stopped suddenly. Fujitora, who was very good at martial arts, did not choose to take the opportunity to attack. After all, his mother died, so it was not good to do so. Katakuri stared blankly at the head of the ant who was thrown into the center of the battlefield by Yake, and walked over step by step. At this moment, he thought a lot in his heart. His mother died. The biggest influence is his brothers and sisters. What should they do? Where to go? To fight in blood until death. Surrender on the spot and save his life. He wanted to do something, but he didn't know how to do it. Big Mom is dead, and the Big Mom pirates have failed. The Charlotte family put down their weapons and surrender immediately, or they will be shot. Bibo yelled seriously with the megaphone, and yelled 3 times. It's just that the simple tone is really hard to believe, but the effect is indeed remarkable. The members of the Charlotte family gradually put down the weapons in their hands. At the moment when the ant died, they had lost their belief in fighting and started to retreat. Some people even never thought of fighting for the Charlotte family, but because of the ant's despicable power, have to fight. Katakuri, we meet again. After Yake got the soul fruit, he went to Kaoru directly, and he was the key factor in subduing the Charlotte family. Are you here to kill me? Please do it. I just hope you can spare the lives of my brothers and sisters. Some of them are not members of the Big Mom Pirates, and they are no different from ordinary people. Katakuri knelt in front of Yake on one knee, lowered his head, and only asked for a way out for his brothers and sisters. 162. Card 2 Surrender. Yake smiled slightly, and looked at Kaoru who was kneeling in front of him in a victorious posture. Ha 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 ha, Katakuri, do you know? In the whole Big Mom Pirate group, you are the only one I like. You are very good. Katakuri raised his head in disbelief after hearing Yake's words. Could it be? I am willing to join the Ark Pirates, as long as you. Tisk tut. Yake shook his head and interrupted Katakuri's words, with a hint of contempt in his tone. Katakuri, you know, the loser has no right to make conditions. How about this? You call all the members of the Big Mom Pirates. I will give you a chance. It depends on how you choose. I see, Lord Yake. Katakuri immediately stood up and turned away. After Katakuri left, Ace and Sabo Marco walked up to Yake. Congratulations to Mr. Yake for his great victory. Maybe we don't need to come to help in the battle. Your Excellency Yake can also win. Where is there, without you? How can I fight with Ant with peace of mind? Don't worry, there will be nothing missing from you. Yake waved his hand, ignoring their flattery. It was actually just a cover to ask them to come to help out. It would be too shocking to take over the nations with the power of the Ark Pirates, and it would arouse the fear of the world government. Before the final preparations are made, the world government and even the revolutionary army cannot know their true strength, and they must hold back everything. In this war, the media will only report that the Ark Pirates, the Whitebeard Pirates, and the revolutionary army all participated in the war, so that the loss of Big Mom is still within the tolerance of the world government. This is Perisparrow, Ant's eldest son, who was captured by us and will be handed over to you. Ace beckoned, and the heavily tied Perisparrow was brought over by Joes, cursing. Let go of me, you bloody bastards, Mom will definitely kill you. It seems that Perisparrow is being held very well, and he knows nothing about what is happening outside. Advertisement. Wake up. The Great Kingdom is dead. But soon Perisparrow was speechless. He was not stupid. The closer he got to the center of the battlefield, the heavier his heart was. When he saw Big Mom's head, his mentality collapsed. Mom, how is it possible? This must be an illusion. Mom can't die. She is the Emperor of the Sea. Perisparrow struggled desperately to break free from the chain, but he still couldn't exert all his strength. He didn't even look at Jacques. He lay on the ground and began to squirm towards the ant's head, trying to get close to the ant. Yake couldn't help sighing. What a filial son. Gangner's spear slash. Perisparrow didn't make a sound. Big Mom's diehard loyalist might be very good to Big Mom, but he couldn't stay with Yake. Yake patted Reiju's shoulder. Reiju, please. How come till the captain? This is what I should do. Leave it to me. Reiju had Ace's men unlock Perispero's seastone chains and extract his devil fruit ability. Lick the fruit +1. Anna, give him a decent funeral. There are not many people in the world who are so filial. Yake touched Anna's head and decided to bury the ant and his filial son with honor and let them be buried together. Anna put her paws on the ground, and the body of the ant was pushed to Perispero's side by the mud on the ground. The mud engulfed the two of them and buried them deeply in the ground. It's done, meow. In one go, Anna patted the dust on her hands and looked at Yake expectantly. Anna, you did a great job. Ha ha ha, meow tilde captain, you are so serious, you always say some embarrassing things, meow tilde. Anna wriggled her body happily, wagging her tail, and the helicopter was about to take off. Yake pretended not to see anything, and closed his mouth consciously. Anna seems to have been led badly by Chopper, and she must teach Chopper a lesson some other day. Advertisement 10 minutes later, Katakuri came with a group of people. Jacques only knows Cracker, Smoothie, Garrett, Pudding, and Brie. The others are not named, although they look familiar. Your Excellency Yake, these are the only people who are willing to surrender. There is only so much I can do. In the morning, the still thriving New Cake Island has become a ruin, with corpses lying everywhere, only the smoke of war is still everywhere. Yake walked past Ka-er with the Ark Pirates. Although I'm not afraid of your betrayal, let's keep it as an insurance policy. Luo, take out the hearts of 5 people. The surviving Katakuri and others looked at the devastated scene, and their hearts were full of bitterness. The emotionally fragile sisters couldn't help crying. In less than a day, the owner of Wangguo disappeared and ushered in Wangguo, new owner. Everyone behind Katakuri shook their heads in unison, and only Katakuri could convince everyone. Luo randomly took the hearts of 5 people, not necessarily Katakuri and other powerful people. Don't worry about scarcity but inequality, as long as not everyone's heart is taken out, then they won't be of one mind. There is no way. Yake can only accompany Robin to participate in the spoils conference, and let the others go back to the kingdom of the Sky God first. Well done, that's enough. Those who escaped, I will assume that they are ordinary people. By the way, when I need you to fight for me, I will call you. From now on, you will be the 3rd team of the Ark Pirates, and Katakuri will be the leader. Do you have any objections? Katakuri gestured to dodge, but in the end he chose to bear it quietly. Katakuri watched Yake go away, wondering what he was thinking. Yake and the others joined in order to ensure that they have enough strength in the showdown with the world government. Taking out the heart is just to reduce unnecessary troubles and save Yake a snack. Katakuri said haggardly, in order to be able to save his family, he was heartbroken, and some who were unwilling had already fled, and he turned a blind eye to let them leave. Yake stretched his waist, and Katakuri's pupils shrank. Was it all in his expectation? Or is it that he has been monitoring his movements? Ka-er, welcome to join the Ark Pirates. The name of your team has to be changed, and if you are stationed, you can choose your own in New World. Room Slaughterhouse. At this time, the Whitebeard Pirates, the Revolutionary Army, and Robin were discussing the distribution of benefits after the war. Although Yake himself didn't care much, Robin strongly demanded to get the part that belonged to the Sky Kingdom. 163. Reactions from all parties. New World, Naval Headquarters. Marineford has been destroyed by Yake and Whitebeard, and it is completely uninhabitable. The new Marine Marshal Aokiji had to relocate Naval Headquarters to New World. Recently, Aokiji is full of energy and full of enthusiasm to change Marine and rectify the bad atmosphere in Marine. He also specially gave Sengoku a position as a deputy staff officer. He usually walks around and guides himself when he has nothing to do. But it didn't take long for the hardworking Aokiji to be struck by the darkness of the world government, and he still remembers what the 5 elders told him. Aokiji, don't think that you can do whatever you want as a Marine Marshal. The order of the world government is everything. Correct your attitude. From that day on, Aokiji understood Sengoku's difficulties when he was a marshal. Even if he became a Marine Marshal, he still has the world government, celestial dragons, and 5 elders. All he can do is to subtly change the Marine. There are still 3 current Marine Admirals, Kizaru, Akainu, and Momosagi. The original Admiral substitute, Momosagi, succeeded in becoming the first female Marine Admiral in history, instead of becoming the Chief of Staff like a crane. Everyone take a look. New World is going to be in chaos again. Aokiji called the 3 admirals together, and on the table was information about Yake's Ark Pirates' war against all nations. Oh tilde, it's terrible. Did it take a day to kill Big Mom? I can't imagine. Kizaru pursed his lips tightly after seeing the information, feeling bad. Yak, he's grown again. He has Whitebeard's abilities, and there's nothing we can do against him. Momosagi glanced roughly at the information sent by Wangguo's undercover agent. No, there is no more Wangguo now, and the ordinary people of Wangguo have been taken to the god of Sky Kingdom and become the people of Yake. Akainu didn't speak, and stared directly at Yake's reward order with dark eyes. His right arm has been replaced with a prosthesis made by the Marine Science Corps. There is no problem in daily life, but it is troublesome in battle. Always pay attention to the problem of overheating of the prosthesis. That's right, he joined forces with the remnants of the Whitebeard Pirates to participate in the War of Nations. It is said that there are also members of the Revolutionary Army. His power is getting stronger and stronger. I called everyone here today, not for anything else. The world government wants our Marine to carry out a siege operation against Yake's god of Sky Kingdom. What do you think? Aokiji glanced at Kizaru, and Kizaru immediately avoided Aokiji's gaze, and began to steady his fingers. Don't want him to contribute, unless the salary is raised. I don't agree. With Yake's current strength, Marine can't target at all, and the geographical location of the Kingdom of God in the Sky is too special. We can't transport a large number of troops to the Kingdom of God in the Sky to fight. Advertisement Momoshagi immediately expressed her objection. She doesn't think the current Marine can compete with Yake, and after the last Summit War, Marine's vitality was severely injured, and she is still recuperating and recruiting troops aggressively. This time we should change our strategy and arrange for high-end combat forces to sneak into the Kingdom of Sky God before launching an attack. It doesn't make sense to have more ordinary Marine soldiers. Akainu said lightly that he has a clear understanding of Yake's strength. Yake is not as old as Whitebeard, but is young and strong, and there is even room for improvement in strength. Aokiji glanced at Akainu unexpectedly, showing an ugly smile. Allah, what a hassle. But don't worry, the world government has already asked Dr. Vegapunk to study flying boats. After the research results come out, it's time for our Marine to dispatch. Aokiji buttoned his messy hair and yawned. He didn't sleep well when he became a Marine Marshal. Compared with the days when he was fishing and sleeping every day, it was too miserable. Kizaru couldn't help laughing when he saw Aokiji like this. Fortunately, the old man has the foresight. What's so good about being a marshal? If the old man was not young and frivolous, he insisted on being an admiral for fun, or he would just learn from Garp and become a vice admiral. Isn't it fragrant? Aokiji ignored Kizaru, took out a piece of information and handed it to Kizaru with a smirk on his face. Kizaru Admiral, the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates were in Bryce Island in New World recently, so I'll trouble you to make a trip. Kizaru's face pulled down immediately, and he looked at Aokiji in disbelief. His eyes were full of doubts. As for? Can the old man refuse? I'm afraid you can't, Kizaru Admiral. You must go there as soon as possible. Bryce Kingdom is a member country of the world government, so, you understand. Kizaru leaned back on the chair with no love in his life. He will take a double break tomorrow. Aokiji. You be ****************** D. Wanokuni, Ghost Island. What? The old woman is dead. This is impossible. Lousy doesn't believe it. Kaido looked at the contents of the newspaper in shock. His eyes were staring like light bulbs. His chest was heaving and heaving. Only one day later the ant fell to the street, and he didn't know the news until he started reading the newspaper. Call Jack and Quinn over here. Kaido drank a bottle of wine, and the death of the ant made him feel a sense of crisis. Last time, he and the ant fought Yake. Although Yake was very strong at the time, it was not enough to kill the ant in a day. Advertisement. Is that old woman sick again? Boss. Who are you going to do? I'll take someone to kill him immediately. Really? Come right now. Kaido just said something, and then started to drink tons of wine, which made Quinn a little confused. Jack's pupils shrank, and he understood what the boss meant. Ahem, Jack, you are still young, you can't grasp it. Boss, just say it straight, you see, I can't grasp it. Kaido almost spit out his drink, and looked at Jack, a pure reckless man, in shock. If you can kill Jack, you will be the leader of the Beast's pirates. The balance of New World has been completely broken. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Boss, what do you want us to do? The ant died when she died, and Kaido only remembered the person who gave him the fruit in his heart. To avenge her? Impossible, he's not that stupid. It's fine if Yake doesn't come to him. No matter how Kaido thought about it, he couldn't figure out how the ant was killed by Yake so quickly. It was Jack and Quinn who rushed over. Shanks turned his head and grinned, his eyes refocusing on the distant sea. Kaido took a deep breath to calm down his little head. Redvers. Kaido suddenly remembered that the 20 years mentioned by Kazuki Oden seemed to be getting closer and closer. I don't know what Oden has behind him. Quinn, Jack, Ant is dead. Lousy wants you to fight for my territory. The more you grab, the better. Captain, what are you looking at? Frowning, come and have a drink together. The old woman is dead. 164. Shirahoshi awakening. Kamiji, early morning. Yake opened his eyes and felt that his hands seemed to be gone, just like the state when the TV channel was covered with black and white snowflakes when he was Blue Star. Because Robin and Reiju were sleeping soundly on his arms. The floor was covered with messy underwear and some uniforms. Robin and Reiju were still naked, and they could feel the smoothness of their skin whenever they moved. Yake tried to pull out his arm, crept up from the bed, and opened the curtains. Today is another beautiful day. At the center of the Kamizu, with a man-made blue sea, on the bottom of the sea is Shirahoshi's palace. Shirahoshi opened his eyes, smiled sweetly, woke up his pet Mikaro, and swam to the surface together. Although it was still early in the morning, Shenju started to get busy together. The maids were busy setting up the venue. They didn't see Anna, but they could smell the aroma coming from the kitchen. That's right, today is Shirahoshi's 15th birthday, and it's also her first birthday on land, with her family and friends accompanying her. She was so excited last night. This must be the most meaningful birthday ever for her. Miss Shirahoshi, you woke up so early. Of course, today is Miss Shirahoshi's birthday. I really envy Miss Shirahoshi. When the maids passed by, they could see Shirahoshi's curious eyes, and greeted Shirahoshi on the way. Shirahoshi was very friendly and could become good friends with everyone. The maids also liked this cute Murloc princess very much. Hee, don't be envious, everyone can eat birthday cake together today. Shirahoshi said a little shyly. Originally he just wanted to pass his birthday normally, but Master Yake insisted on making such a fuss. If she was in the past, she would be too scared to show up. Dang. Shirahoshi, look at what delicious food Anna made for you. Anna ran over wearing an apron, and behind her floated a bowl several times larger than her, which contained Shirahoshi's favorite C-grade pasta, and there was only one piece, which Yake asked her to do. Fortunately, she is a lion fruit-capable person, so it is not too easy to use it to make noodles and so on, otherwise she would not be able to make such a big bowl if she was exhausted. Ah Tilda, thank you, Sister Anna, I like your food the most. Don't call me sister, call me big sister. Thank you Anna, big sister. Anna nodded in satisfaction after hearing Shirahoshi call her big sister's head. The little sister is quite good at it. Ah meow, it's almost time for my food, I'm going first meow. Advertisement, by the way, I wish you a happy birthday meow, today I may be exhausted in the kitchen meow Tilda. Anna left in a hurry, using the cat crawl while floating in the air, among other things, the speed is very fast. Good morning, Shirahoshi, are you ready for your birthday? Yake walked slowly to Shirahoshi's side and looked at the field that already had a prototype, which was not bad. Yeah, Lord Yake, I've been ready for a long time, but I was too excited yesterday, so I went to bed late. Yake touched Shirahoshi's head. Excitement is normal. I felt Shirahoshi's strength when I was exercising last night. Not surprisingly, today is the day when Shirahoshi officially awakened. Shirahoshi's birthday party officially started at night, and the guests haven't come yet. Yake is going to take Shirahoshi to the lair of Combelt Sea Kings first as agreed. Master Yake, I feel like I am a little different, and the voice of Sea Kings is calling me again. Shirahoshi's excited smile changed suddenly, a faint blue halo surrounded her, and Shirahoshi fell into a coma. The seawater in the crowd began to flow, wrapped Shirahoshi's body, lifted her up, and brought her to the ground. The unconscious Shirahoshi moved towards Qinghai unconsciously. So fast? Yake stared dumbfounded at Shirahoshi who was fading away. Is there such an operation for awakening power? Go after it, Captain, or Shirahoshi is gone. Yake threw Robin's phantom on his shoulder and said angrily. Oh, go now. Yake hurriedly chased in the direction Shirahoshi left, and the phantom body on his body dissipated. In fact, Robin's worries were unnecessary. The water flow protected Shirahoshi very well, and the water flow supported Shirahoshi to move quickly like a living being, avoiding all buildings and crowds sensitively. Wait. Let me do it. Yake moved to the front of the water in an instant, and this thing seemed to be intelligent. Gulu gulu tilde. A few bubbles appeared in the water flow. Yake didn't understand what it meant, but it slowly transported Shirahoshi to Yake's side, and then dissipated by itself. Picking up Shirahoshi, Yake used the flame cloud to float Shirahoshi on the island cloud, and took Shirahoshi to the calm belt. The last time I came to Yake, I still had a little impression. Although it was not necessarily correct, Yake still found a nearby location. Because the two giant sea kings seen last time are already waiting for them on the sea. Advertisement, wake up. Our king. Yake heard the gasp and realized that Shirahoshi had woken up and jumped into the sea by himself. The dazzling blue halo centered on Shirahoshi and spread around the sea until it could no longer be seen. In Yake's sense of knowledge, this calm sea area gradually became a little different. Ah tilde. Ah tilde. Shirahoshi's eyes were full of anticipation, and it was impossible for Yake to refuse, and he agreed again and again, but the last time the water-repelling beads were returned to the Sea Kings, Yake had to look at Shirahoshi helplessly, and pointed to the sea. After receiving Shirahoshi's order, the Sea Kings plunged into the water one by one, leaving only huge underwater shadows, and then disappeared. Oh, I'm sorry, Master Yake, I forgot, sorry, forget it. Wait, my power seems to be able to help you tilde. The densely packed Sea Kings emerged from the water, looking up to the sky and roaring. The scene was quite spectacular, not only the calm belt, but all the Sea Kings in the four seas and the Grand Line paid the surface of the water, roaring in the direction of Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi. Looking at Shirahoshi with a sweet smile, Yake only felt a burst of relief. Fortunately, he was raised by his own family. I ate in a hurry just now, I didn't taste much, Shirahoshi, make another one. Everyone please be quiet. Shirahoshi also felt the joy exuded by these Sea Kings, and couldn't help laughing like a silver bell, and Yake floating in the air was shocked. This kind of scene is rare in a lifetime. Shirahoshi quickly motioned Yake to eat it and let him try the effect. Shirahoshi made a silent gesture, and all the Sea Kings closed their mouths at the same time. They were noisy just now, but they suddenly became quiet, and the sparrows were colorless. The return of Poseidon, the world is overjoyed, congratulations from all directions. Master Yake, can you accompany me to meet the elder? Shirahoshi clasped her hands together, and a drop of seawater mixed with the energy on her body to form an ice blue drop, very similar to the one Sea Kings gave herself last time. Master Yake, eat it, so that you can breathe in the water in the future, and the water pressure will not be afraid. Yake believed that Shirahoshi would not harm himself, so he swallowed it in one gulp without feeling any changes in his body. Go back to the sea. I'll wait for you there. 165, birthday party. Yake jumped into the sea. Everything is normal. Under normal circumstances, only the murlocs who eat devil fruit will not be drowned, but they can't swim. For example, Jack is the Saddlestone Madara murloc, and he can survive even if he falls into the sea. Master Yake, I know where it is, I will take you there. Shirahoshi grabbed Yake and put it in the palm of his hand, and dived rapidly. The speed of the mermaid was the highest in the sea, and Yake was hard to come by. Unless the elementalization travels through the sea in the form of thunder and lightning, but the voltage will cause damage to Shirahoshi, and it will be more comfortable for Shirahoshi to swim with him. Gradually, the two also came to the place where they were last time, the Sea King's lair. Elder, here I come. The land on the bottom of the sea slowly opened up. It was the elders who were right. Yake with those big eyes would never forget it for the rest of his life. Wong, you have finally awakened. It's great. We have been waiting for this day for a long time. Although I don't know where the elder's mouth is, I can still feel its joy from the tone of his voice. I have already felt your call just now. Please forgive me for not responding to you, because I am too big to swim freely. It's okay. If it really comes up, there will be a big problem. Wong, the previous Poseidon left something for you, and that's why you came here when you awakened. It's just that hill. The pupils of the eyeballs looked towards a hill in the northwest, which was plain and unremarkable, not like a place to put things. King, use your strength to open it. After receiving the elder's prompt, Shirahoshi stretched out his white and tender right hand tentatively, and a blue energy ball hit the hill. The hill was unscathed, but gradually began to shrink, turning into a gorgeous treasure chest. This is a jade handbox. Advertisement. The more Yake looked at it, the more he felt familiar. It was taught that the royal family of the Fishmen Island has always passed down a treasure. It was placed in a jade handbox. It's a bomb. Could this be the real jade handbox, a treasure that only belongs to Poseidon? I'll come. Shirahoshi. Yake swam over and brought the jade handbox to Shirahoshi, beckoning Shirahoshi to open it. Grandfather, what's in here? Shirahoshi hesitated a little, wanting to ask more information from the elder. I don't know. This is a treasure handed down among the mermaid princesses who have successfully awakened in the past. We have no right to check it. It was so mysterious that it made Yake's heart itch. Shirahoshi, open it and see it soon. Shirahoshi pursed his lips and nodded. As soon as his hand was placed on the jade handbox, the lock opened automatically. Shirahoshi withdrew his hand like a frightened deer, and opened the treasure box with Yake's encouragement. This is. Yake looked inside the treasure chest. Inside was an exquisite trident, a crown, and some unknown sea animal skins full of words. Show me, Shirahoshi, the trident should be your weapon. You should try it first to see if it works, and you can wear this as well. Yake took out a 10-meter-long trident and handed it to Shirahoshi. It was a bit big for Shirahoshi now, but when Shirahoshi got it in his hand, it immediately became a suitable size. Yake is studying the content on the sea animal skin. They are all normal characters. They are common characters passed down from generation to generation in the world of pirates, and they are easy to understand. Shirahoshi, you have to study the above things carefully. These are the stories of Poseidon in the past, and the way they use their power. Maybe one day you can leave your own story on it. Yake put the sea animal skin into the jade handbox after reading it, and said to Shirahoshi with a smile, but found that Shirahoshi's temperament changed immediately. Shirahoshi wears a golden crown engraved with unknown runes and inlaid with gorgeous gemstones. The Poseidon trident in his hand is more than Neptune's hockey. Now Shirahoshi looks solemn and majestic, revealing the king's appearance all over his body. Temperament. It was at this moment that Yake felt that Shirahoshi was no longer a child, she had really grown up. Yeah, Master Yake, I will study hard. Advertisement. Shirahoshi went to his fist to cheer himself up, put away the jade handbox. Yake blinked. It must be an illusion just now. Afterwards, the two returned to the Sky Kingdom together, and the guests rushed over one after another, and a large number of gifts piled up near the venue one after another, like a hill. The only elder brother of Shirahoshi's family, Shashing, has arrived. Neptune has to guard the Fishmen Island, and he can't get away. Yake asked Jinbei to escort Shashing to avoid being attacked by pirates. Needless to say, Jinbei's fighting power in the sea is only inferior to that of Yake. Maybe with the addition of Shirahoshi who has awakened his strength, he will naturally arrive smoothly. Boy, I heard this is your fiancé. Rayleigh couldn't hold back when he saw Yake came back with Shirahoshi. Yake didn't even inform them about such a big event. Although Shaki knew and told him, Yake didn't say a word and couldn't bear it. Haha, yes, what's the matter? What's wrong with you? I didn't even notify me of my son's engagement. If Shaki hadn't told me, I would have been kept in the dark by you. There were too many people, and Yake hugged Rayleigh to a place with few people. Dad, you know that Shirahoshi's identity is sensitive. Rayleigh fell silent suddenly. Time passed so fast, he almost forgot. Shirahoshi is the Poseidon of this generation. Counting the time, today is exactly the 15th year. Oh, I'm so old-fashioned, but Shirahoshi seems to be only 15 years old. You boy can't. Rayleigh stared at Jacques with a face full of scrutiny. His son is a bit like him, very playful, and now he is not even a minor. How is it possible? Dad, don't think too much, she's just a child. Yake said sadly that a child's heart was hurt by Rayleigh in this way. Yake hurriedly sent Rayleigh to drink. Hurry up and drink you, it's all Sky Island special brew, drink whatever you want. Turning around, I found an unexpected visitor, a red-skinned man wearing earphones slowly walking into the venue. Yake's heart sank. When will this guy come? But he has to come now. 166. Uninvited guest. It was none other than Douglas Bullet. Yake released him and impelled down, allowing him to challenge himself at any time, but Yake never expected him to come here today. You came. I am coming. You shouldn't be here now. But I'm still here. These words flashed through Yake's mind, and he felt a chill, sighed, and looked at Bullet helplessly. But Bullet simply ignored Yake and walked straight towards Rayleigh. Executive Captain Rayleigh, long time no see. Bullet looked down at Rayleigh who was drinking. His tone was very flat, and he didn't feel the joy of reunion after a long absence. Tun. Ha ha ha, Bullet, it's you? I didn't expect to meet an acquaintance here today, it's so rare. Rayleigh took a closer look and recognized Bullet. The first time he met Bullet many years ago left an indelible impression on Rayleigh. After all these years, he did not expect to see him again. You've weakened, Rayleigh, to the point where I'm not even interested. Bullet raised his big fist, the muscles on his arms bulged, not just his arms, his whole body was full of solid muscles, full of explosive power. People will grow old eventually. I am indeed no longer your opponent. If you want to fight, find my son. Rayleigh sold Yake without hesitation. His old bones can't stand the toss. It's okay to show off in front of Luffy, but forget it with Bullet. Everyone on Roger's boat knows that Bullet is an out-and-out fighter. He stares at Roger, him, and Jabba and the others one-on-one every day. He failed every time. After learning that Roger was terminally ill, he challenged Roger one last time, but failed, so he got off Roger's boat and disappeared. HMPH, I came to look for him today. He is indeed a top-notch powerhouse. After Bullet finished speaking, he left Rayleigh and strode straight towards Yake. Advertisement, Captain, let me go. His strength is not inferior to any 4 emperors, and now you are not his opponent. Yake interrupted Reiju and stopped Reiju behind him. Bullet can hang up Supernova and hit him with physical skills alone. Luffy, who has been practicing for 2 years, can only punch him. If he appears in the animation, he will have to fight. At least there are hundreds of episodes, but unfortunately, this is the real world, and if Bullet ever met Luffy, Yake was sure he could beat Luffy to death. Today is very lively. Are you ready? Bullet went straight to the point, without any foreplay, just plain rough. It's a pity that you ruined the atmosphere. How about we come again at night? We just have a meal together, what do you think? Yake really couldn't bear to spoil Shirahoshi's birthday. Besides, this is the kingdom of the gods of the sky, a country that was established with great difficulty, and they can wipe out years of hard work with a single blow. Bullet fell into silence, remembering what Jacques had said to him when he was on the 6th basement floor, and glanced at Rayleigh again, wondering what he was thinking. Tomorrow. Come to Longchain Island, don't disappoint me too much, I will kill you. Bullet got Raftel's permanent record pointer shortly after he was released from prison. He has a chance to become One Piece, but this is just following Roger's old path, not surpassing Roger. The ultimate pursuit of power is to surpass Roger and become the strongest in the world. If you can kill the strongest in the sea, that is, all the 4 emperors and admirals, it will be the proof of becoming the world's strongest pirate king, surpassing Roger. Yake in front of him obviously has the world's top strength, and Yake is the #1 target in his hunting list. After speaking, Bullet jumped up and disappeared. Longchain Island. Yake thought of the islands near the island of Dengtian, and silently mourned for the Longchain Island in his heart. Because there is one less island in this world. After Bullet left, the birthday party was lively again, but they didn't take Bullet's words seriously, because they firmly believed that no one could defeat Yake. The worry in Shirahoshi's eyes also disappeared, and a smile was put on his face again. He shared the experience of this period with his brother Shashing and introduced him to his best friend. Night. Advertisement. After the dinner, the guests all went home one after another. Sharkstar took the guards to rest at Angel Island for one night, and returned to the Fishman Island tomorrow. The bustling Kamiya during the day has returned to its former tranquility. Master Yake, I am really happy today, do you know why? Shirahoshi was lying on the edge of the pool, resting his head on his hands, staring at Yake with wide eyes. Shirahoshi said shyly, the roots behind her ears had turned red. She was born with a unique observation haki. As long as she wanted, she could hear clearly. Yake sprayed a mouthful of juice to the ground. His eyes were full of panic, and he looked at Shirahoshi in disbelief. Shirahoshi turned away directly, but Yake could still see her flushed cheeks. Yake never expected to inadvertently teach the children badly. Yake deliberately made the material made by Judge almost perfect in sound insulation. Judging from the performance of Perona and Anna, they sleep like pigs every day. It's just that Shirahoshi is too harmless to humans and animals, and forgets that she, like Odahime, is born with a special sense of knowledge, which is hard to guard against. Yake took a sip of juice and asked curiously, oh, why? Can you tell me? Gudong. That's right, I need your strength, you can help us a lot. Shirahoshi's voice sounded like a mosquito, but Yake still heard it. After hearing Yake's answer, Shirahoshi's eyes were narrowed into a smile, and he slapped the water with his red tail cheerfully, looking very happy. Hee, because I can finally help Master Yake. As long as it is in the sea, whether it is fighting or traveling, I can help, right? Yake asked tremblingly. He lived a very young life. It would be terrible for Robin to know. After Robin mastered the Phantom, Yake has a different experience every night. Yesterday was Khalifa, and Shirahoshi before. Shirahoshi, don't tell Robin about this matter, and don't do it again in the future. Be obedient. Yake fled, and secretly decided to put an electromagnetic interference barrier every time. Master Yake, as long as you need help, I can do it anytime. I can do what you and Sister Robin did. I am your wife. I am the real Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi, you. Every time, you hear that? Also, not every time. Peefed approximately 167. Longchain Island Marijoy, deep in the Holy Land. I am looked at the report from 5 elders and fell into deep thought. Sea kings from all over the world rise to the surface of the sea, cheering, as if welcoming someone. I am just glanced at the status of sea kings and knew what happened. A new generation of Poseidon awakened, and the king of sea kings was born. Go and check for me, where is the mermaid princess of this generation? Yes, my lord. In the morning, the sun is shining. The Longchain Island is a circle formed by 10 small islands. It is named because the overall shape is like a long chain. There are many strange creatures on the island. In the center of one of the small islands stands a big man with arms folded, quietly waiting. Bullet is tall and strong, with long blonde hair, earmuffs, and military uniform. Bullet's ship Bullet Catapult is parked near the island. This is a submarine that looks like a whale. This ship is full of weapons and iron. Bullet regards it as his only partner. He can use his ability to combine with the ship. The super long white dog passed by Bullet for half an hour, and I still haven't seen its buttocks. The surrounding animals are also strangely shaped. Their only feature is that they are long, very long. Boom tilde crack. Thunderclouds gathered in the sky, and there were continuous muffled thunder sounds, and the clear sky gradually darkened. Bullet looked up at the sky, with an unruly smile on the corner of his mouth. Finally came. ZZZ tilde. A group of lightning particles combined into a human form and appeared directly opposite Bullet. Yake stretched his muscles and bones and looked at Bullet with his head tilted. Are you ready? Hey, I can't wait. As soon as the voice fell, the Shira-like Conqueror's hockey broke out in full force. Yake raised the corner of his mouth, and the more powerful Conqueror's hockey spewed out. The momentum of the two competed, and Yake had the upper hand. Advertisement, it's really a good momentum, but it's not enough. Bullet took the lead and set off a surging airwave, and his iron-cast fist hit Yake. Without any fancy name, it was just an ordinary blow, but Yake had the illusion of fighting Garp. Boom. Yake used all his strength to confront Bullet, all of which were pure physical confrontation, and it was not yet time to compete in ability. Yake's full blow and Bullet's fist were in a stalemate, and they didn't even touch each other. It was completely the armament hockey of the two who were outstretched. The ground around the two of them had already been lifted up, the long animals were dizzy and dead, and the air was full of oppression. Bullet was finally defeated and retracted his fist, but instead of flinching, he became more excited. Ha ha ha, sure enough, there is no one worthy of fame, and I didn't come in vain. Bullet smiled evilly, and a purple halo appeared on his face, which quickly spread to his whole body. He fused his own ghost energy with hockey, and his speed and strength were greatly improved, like a devil from hell. One of the reasons it is called Devil's Air. Don't die, Bullet said lightly, and suddenly disappeared in place. The black and purple fist had appeared in front of Yake's eyes, and it went straight to Yake's temple, which was fatal. Yake has already shot Bullet with all his strength, so it is impossible to release the water. Lei Yao's dragon pattern is fully opened, his body is covered by violent lightning. He tilts his head to avoid Bullet's attack, and punches him in the chest, hitting him fly. Bullet strode out from the dust, tore off his military uniform, revealing the muscular muscles trained to ultimate, with many scars on his body and a tattoo on his left arm. Yake's blow just now didn't seem to have any effect on him. Bullet disappeared in the next second, but Yake clearly saw his trajectory, it has to be said, very fast. If there is no fruit ability, Yake's speed is at best comparable to him. It is worthy of being called a god, but today I will be a godslayer. Boom, boom, boom. Bullet's boxing skills are very superb, presumably it is a boxing specifically for killing that he learned in the army when he was young. Strength, speed, skill, and physique. Bullet seems to have been trained to ultimate. Armament hockey can be called massive, almost the whole body is covered by black armament hockey during the battle with Yake. Advertisement under such a high-intensity battle, there was no trace of exhaustion, which surprised Yake a little. Listening to the noisy sound of the phone bug, Aokiji was upset, grabbed the phone bug and put it to his mouth. Yake and Bullet still don't know anything about Marine's actions. The two have been fighting for nearly a day and a night, and they have smashed 2 islands in the Longchain Island. Fortunately, there are still many islands in the Longchain Island. But the battle still has to continue. Yake is also very comfortable fighting. The duel between real men, no weapons, punches to the flesh. Yake's fighting spirit is also constantly rising. Bullet thought for a moment before he answered with certainty. Yes, I have far surpassed Roger. Roger in his heyday must not be my opponent. Aokiji, watch your tone. Is this how you talk to us? After a while, 15 naval headquarters warships sailed to Longchain Island at the same time. Surprisingly, Akainu also went with them. Aokiji had no choice but to take him with him. Marshal Aokiji received a message from the CP department that God Yake is fighting with the Devil's Air Bullet on Longchain Island, and asked Marine to take immediate action and launch. Buster call. Enough, I will personally participate in this operation, are you satisfied? Stop rushing, I've activated Buster call, what do you want from me? If it wasn't for the time urgency, there might be more warships called, and they had to launch the attack while Yake and Bullet were still there. Aokiji looked at the message from the phone bug and fell silent. Buster call, is it useful for Yake? But he can't disobey the order of the world government, otherwise he won't be able to be the marshal. 5 elders has already called, which makes Aokiji very headache. Yake took advantage of the interval between their attacks and asked suddenly, Bullet, do you think your strength has surpassed Roger's? The scale of the Buster call this time is very large, with 6 vice admirals, 10 rear admirals, more than 10,000 marine elites, 15 large marine warships, and more than 50 small warships. The lineup of the team has already looked up to Bullet and Yake. Aokiji hung up the phone, put on the uniform of justice, and walked out of the marshal's office with a dark face. Snapped. Naval Headquarters. 168. Armor-fit Yake looked at Bullet's serious expression and smiled. Very confident, in line with Bullet's style. He kept fighting against Roger when he was young, and he had a very clear understanding of Roger's strength. When Yake met Roger, he had already been eroded by illness, and his strength was non-existent. For Yake also judged Roger's strength when he was young. You're a monster too, Tilda. Bullet rolled his eyes when he heard Yake's words. Except for the strange old man Whitebeard, he has never seen anyone more difficult than Yake. Could it be that he has been practicing since his mother's womb? HMPH, since physique can't take you down, let me show you my true strength. The earth beneath him groaned, and a steel submarine appeared at Bullet's feet, taking Bullet aloft. Bullet held both hands on the two protruding balls of the submarine, with a very arrogant smile on his face. Armor fusion. The deep purple flowing crystal substance quickly covered Barrett's catapult number, and the huge submarine was wrapped in crystal, making it impossible to see the whole picture, and the crystal slowly expanded and deformed. I am a fused person who ate the fused fruit. I can fuse with any object and transform. My own strength, coupled with this powerful ability, is my confidence to become the strongest in the world. Only the strongest can survive in this sea. The purple crystals gradually enveloped the Bullet, finally revealing the prototype of the mecha. Yake's wide mouth slowly closed, so disappointed. It's so ugly, Bullet. What's your aesthetic? It's over, go to hell. Bullet was manipulating the mech inside the armor. He was close to 100 meters tall and was already comparable to Ultraman. Yake stood still and watched the huge iron fist hit him. Huh? It seems to be made of iron? Yake tried to control the magnetic field, but was punched flying. Bah bah bah, careless. Yake never expected that the magnetic force would not work, and he was punched in vain. I will write down this grudge. Ha ha ha. Do you think I don't know your ability? It's a genius idea to use lightning to manipulate the magnetic field, but unfortunately I already knew it. These metals are specially made for you. Most of them are the product of my ability. You cannot control it. Advertisement. Yake scratched his head in embarrassment. He didn't expect Bullet to study him so thoroughly. Cultural man. But Yake has so many means. There are other things if the magnetic force is not good. Thunder God's punishment. While dodging Bullet's attack, Yake summoned the lightning to hit his mecha. At first nothing happened, but as the lightning became more and more dense, Bullet's armor began to heat up. Lightning. HMPH tilde, what a trouble. Bullet activated the ability again, covering the armor with a layer of crystal shell, and there is a metal needle on the head. Although it cannot be completely immune to lightning, it can transfer the voltage to the ground to reduce damage. Lightning rod. Good guy. Yake's eyes widened. He was not afraid that the hooligans would fight, but he was afraid that the hooligans would be educated. Feelings. Bullet really wants to kill him. Ha 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 ha. I didn't expect that. I kidnapped more than a dozen scientists to study your most troublesome ability, and your lightning can no longer affect me. Bullet's laughter penetrated the armor and reached Yake's ears. It was too ironic. It was the first time Yake fought a cultural person, which was a bit inapplicable. Hey, Bullet, it looks like I have to show you the power of Whitebeard. I don't know how many punches your armor can withstand. Yake clenched his fists tightly, a faint white halo condensed on his fists, and atmospheric cracks appeared on both sides of Yake, making a crisp sound. Shock fruit. Humph. Bullet had expected that Yake is a person with 3 series of fruit abilities. It is no surprise that he has the ability of Whitebeard. After all, it is the most destructive fruit in the world. Deliberate punching. Yake jumped directly to the head of the armor, which is where Bullet was, and punched. With a huge boom, the nearly 100-meter tall mech collapsed, and the head of the mecha was smashed into pieces. Yake searched, but did not find Bullet. Boom! The mech that fell on the ground attacked Yake, but Yake found out and punched back. The purple crystal flowed again, recovered its intact state, stood up again, punched and punched Yake, and each punch was covered with thick armament hockey. The speed and strength have gone up to a higher level than before, and the defense has become stronger, which is not something that Yake can destroy at will. It's ugly. Do you only have this strength? Advertisement? Yake rolled his eyes. How many times have I removed your mechanical arm? Okay. I'm so embarrassed to pretend, just wait for me. Yake soared into the sky, turned into a giant dragon, and floated in the air. Aiming at the Bullet below, he breathed out a fire explosion. A mecha less than 100 meters away is not even worthy of lifting shoes in front of a giant dragon. Now Yake's attack range has increased dramatically, and he can cover the whole body of the mecha with any attack. Bartley can't fly, so he can only defend passively. Damn. Iron armor flying fist. Bullet glanced at the dragon Yake in the sky, and launched the fruit awakening without hesitation. Yake noticed something strange and looked at the situation on the ground. He was too absorbed in breathing just now, and didn't pay attention to the situation near the island. Bullet unleashes 2 iron fists in an attempt to knock Yark down. Bullet fell into a passive state, and could only use his ability to fuse the materials on the island to enhance the defense of the mecha. Suddenly, he spotted Marine's warship from the corner of his eye, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. The Marines are here. Alas, tilde, isn't this the material for Bullet? Yake looked at the warship swept by the torrent of amethyst. Even Marine's weapon was not spared. The coverage area was ridiculously large. Great, Marine came just in time. Marine's fleet had already arrived before they knew it, gathering around Longchain Island, watching the battle between the two. Yark roared loudly, and invisible waves of sound shook the air, shattering Bullet's iron fist into pieces. The mechas all over the body turned into a sea of purple crystals, sweeping the entire island like a tide, and all the Marine soldiers, even the warships on the coast, were not spared. Marshal Aokiji, there is a giant dragon in the sky, it should be Yake. Akainu glanced at the giant dragon in the sky, clenched the mechanical arm of his right hand, and followed the large army. Aokiji said lightly, jumped up, and landed on Changlian Island. The righteous Dalmo behind him was rattled by the wind. and other vice admirals also followed Aokiji when they saw this. Taste my strength. Bullet is losing, it's time for us to play. Kebi looked at the dragon Yake in the sky with a telescope and said. Shockwave. 169. Super beast armed soon, all matter Bullet could see was transmuted. As the saying goes, it is difficult to cover the water, but the bullet can. The torrent of amethyst wrapped in a large amount of metal, wood and other materials quickly retreated and gathered above the bullet. One man, that's what Bullet has been working towards, and he's done it. Hey. Devil Fruit's power will occasionally awaken, affecting things other than those with abilities. Be prepared to wake up, Yake. The mecha driven by Bullet flew into the sky, surrounded by amethyst, and turned into a towering supergiant monster. Yake called it Super Beast Armed. Because the giant monster that Bullet turned into was a werewolf, still howling constantly, a real, lone wolf, player. Hutilda. Yake exhaled. Bullet's size has far exceeded his dragon form. In order to avoid being stepped on by Bullet like a snake, Yake decisively changed back to human form. Did it acquire such a huge size after absorbing nearly 70 warships in countless lands? No, the trickiest thing is that such a huge body is all covered with armament hockey, which is immeasurably powerful. Aokiji and Smoker who had already landed were shocked by Bullet's power. Even Yake had never done this amazing posture. Suddenly, the rocks at the bottom of the feet began to bulge, forming an encirclement circle around the island. This was to wipe out Marine. He lost to Marine in the last Buster Call, and he's still holding grudges. He wants to kill us all. Retreat. Call for reinforcements. Vice Admirals come with us. I will launch Buster Call later and destroy this island. Aokiji rushed to Bullet after giving Kabi an order, and the 6 Vice Admirals, not to be outdone, stepped forward together. Frozen Time Capsule. Aokiji released a shockwave of cold air projectiles from a long distance, hitting Bullet's arm, and the cold air quickly froze his arm, but Bullet moved lightly, and the ice shattered to pieces, unable to pose any threat. The ultimate heavy artillery. With just one punch, the sky collapsed, and the Marine Vice Admirals who rushed forward were all blown away and lost their combat effectiveness. It's really disappointing. The Marine troops led by the new Marine Marshal only have this strength? It's ridiculous. Don't talk too soon. Advertisement. Ice Cube Storm Pheasant's Mouth. Dog Gnaws Red Lotus. Akainu and Aokiji joined forces, allowing Bullet to try the feeling of ice and fire. As expected of a Marine Admiral level of combat power, those useless Vice Admirals are much stronger, but it's not enough. A flash of contempt flashed in Bullet's eyes, and he began to sweep across the island with both fists. He didn't even think about whether he hit the enemy, because the entire island was his enemy, and as long as he stood on the island, he would inevitably be attacked by him. Bullet quickly wiped out some miscellaneous fish. Without Admiral's combat power, he didn't deserve to appear in front of him at all. Yake floated into the air to watch the show, to see if there was a chance to talk to Aokiji. All Marines, retreat immediately. The island is about to be covered by artillery fire. Aokiji saw that the support ships had arrived, and immediately chose to retreat. In this case, it is not a wise choice to fight Bullet. He is the Marshal of Marine, and he has to think more about Marine. Are you crazy? He won't last long with this level of attack. We can kill him first, and then go find that damn Yake. Akainu aggressively yelled at Aokiji. He was very dissatisfied with Aokiji's approach, and demanded that Buster Call's artillery fire cover the island immediately, and high-end combat forces continued to attack Bullet. Akainu, please pay attention to your identity. Now first I'm the Marine Marshal. Aokiji said with a dark face, finally able to experience the feeling of 5 elders training people, and it was used on Akainu. HMPH, then you guys run away, I'm alone. King Nur's spear, slash. Before Akainu finished speaking, he was pierced by Yake's spear. At the last moment, he sensed the danger, turned his body into elements, and avoided the deadly part, otherwise the spear would be stuck in his heart. Yake. Aokiji quickly made an ice ball to freeze Akainu, and sent him to a distant warship to delay the deterioration of the injury and allow Akainu to receive treatment in time. What do you want to do? Aokiji looked at Yake who was slowly flying towards him like an enemy. Marshal Aokiji, I don't know if you have any ideas about leaving the world government, first mean Marine. Yake created an electromagnetic barrier to wrap the two together and prevent leakage. Bullet is still killing the quartet and playing hard. What do you mean? Advertisement. Aokiji's pupils shrank, but his tone was relatively flat. Let Marine be the Marine of the people, not the Marine of the world government. You're a person with a righteous heart. Mr. Kuzan, the world government is the cancer of this world, and I already have a way to deal with it. Bullet raised his remaining left arm, ready to go, with blue and purple lines all over his arm, and blasted straight at Yake. Just come on, these Marines are too weak, I'm tired of it, it's more interesting to fight with you. The ultimate heavy artillery. Yake finished speaking and handed Aokiji a note with a private number on it. Now, I'm going to deal with Bullet. You should know that I am not a pure pirate, and I also hate those pirates who do evil things. I don't think we should be enemies. Before Aokiji could react, Yake disappeared in front of him. Aokiji looked at the note in his hand in silence, glanced at the surrounding situation, and carefully put it in his pocket. Bullet waved his arm, and the hill-like fist slammed towards Yake. The huge fist wind made people blind. Yake naturally wouldn't stand stupidly and let him hammer. Conqueror's hockey has been evenly wrapped around Yake's fist. Bullet stopped the indiscriminate attack, and looked at Jacques with scarlet eyes. Even though he was as small as an ant, the amazing aura on his body could not be ignored. If you are interested, you can call me, and no one will know about my conversation with you, so think about it. Don't get carried away, I haven't lost yet. He had to admit that Yake's words made him a little moved. He had already had enough of world government's chatter, but he still needed some time. Good job, Bullet. Are you ready for my attack? A serious punch? Yake's fist was unstoppable, breaking Bullet's fist section by section. Bullet's right arm was shattered into debris, and fell to the ground with a loud noise. The void is shattered. Yake launched the shock fruit awakening without hesitation. Yake was full of thunder and lightning, and said to Bullet lightly, "Hey, Bullet, give up, it's too slow, you can't touch me at all, and I'm not afraid of your attack." 170. The strongest in the world. In an instant, the sky fell apart. Numerous void fissures appeared in front of Yake. Bullet's ultimate heavy cannon hit the shattered space in front of Yake. As if struck by lightning, the huge fist was directly bounced, and the chest door opened. Yake saw the opportunity, and punched out, hitting the chest of Bullet's armor, pointing to Arenkar. Centering on the chest, the armor began to appear cracks, and gradually spread to the whole body. No, it's impossible. Bullet roared unwillingly, and raised his unbroken fist to prepare for the final counterattack, but before he could touch Yake in the future, it turned into fragments and fell powerlessly. Nothing is impossible, Bullet, because I am the strongest in the world. Yake raised the corners of his mouth and slowly landed on the ground. Bullet was panting heavily on the top of the ruins. Whether it was physical skills or abilities, he was defeated by the man in front of him who was called a god. He lost. I lost, kill me. The weak have no room to live, and the same goes for the losers. It's not too ugly to die by your hands. Bullet was relieved at this moment, stood up slowly, and calmly faced his fate. Maybe I should have killed you, but I suddenly changed my mind. Bullet, do you want to see the wider world with me? What do you mean? Do you want me on your boat? Forget it, I'd rather you kill me. Even if Bullet fails, he doesn't want to join anyone, or rather, he never intends to join anyone. I boarded Roger's ship before, also to keep fighting with him, and boarded Roger's ship as a challenger. Bullet, the structure is small, and we need to take a long-term view. The planet we live in is only a drop in the ocean of this universe. Even if you become the strongest in this world, you are only limited to this world. The universe is huge, are you sure you don't want to go and see it with me? Yake held out his right hand to Bullet, smiling broadly. Bullet was stunned when he heard Yake's words, and watched Yake's right hand fall into silence. It turned out that the man's gaze had surpassed this era, and it was not wrong to lose to him. Bullet tentatively stretched out his right hand, but quickly withdrew it, clenched his fist tightly, as if he was still experiencing a mental struggle. Bullet, hesitate, this is not like you, advertisement. Bullet's pupils shrank, and he grabbed Yake's hand without hesitation. I will surpass you, one day, Yake smiled, but thought in his heart. It may take a long time to wait for this day. Afterwards, the two left the shattered Longchain Island, where Marine's artillery fire was constantly hitting the island, as if they had completed their mission. Akainu Admiral, how is the situation? Aokiji returned to the warship and saw Akainu receiving treatment with a gloomy face, looking very dissatisfied, staring directly at Aokiji with gloomy eyes, and turned his head away with a cold snort. Aokiji wasn't surprised. He was used to Akainu's appearance, he just asked about it routinely, and he had already expected this result when he brought Akainu out. Aokiji's mind is full of what Yake said to him now, independent marine, independent marine, independent marine. This was his most urgent wish after becoming the marshal. He had thought about this before, but it was impossible. The size of the marine is so huge that the annual military expenditure is an astronomical figure. Although Aokiji hates the Tenshongjin system very much, he also has to admit that a large part of the huge sum of Tenshongjin is used for military expenditures. He really didn't know how to keep the marine running without the grant from the world government, so he just thought about it. But today Yake's words rekindled his hope. If it was him, there might be a way. Marshal Aokiji? Marshal Aokiji? Hearing Kabi's call, Aokiji woke up from his own world. What's wrong? Is there a pirate attack? Aokiji still doesn't quite understand what's going on. Has he been wandering for so long? Marshal Aokiji, the Longchain Islands have been destroyed. Should our troops evacuate directly? Please instruct. Aokiji glanced at the devastated Longchain Island and sighed. Let's go. This operation is considered complete. As he said this, he thought in his heart that the 5 old guys had nothing to say. Advertisement, yes, I will notify all the generals immediately. There is no woman in my heart, and I beat people to nature. Yake sent Bullet to the Golden Lion Islands to practice. Before leaving, Bullet stopped Yake. Yake shook his head, turned into an electric current and galloped away, returning to Shenju. Yake glanced at this pointer and smiled. Raftel's permanent pointer, but it's a pity that he has already been to Raftel in another world. Pulling out the permanent pointer to Raftel, a plan gradually formed in his mind. Thinking of Luffy's training and finding that Raftel has been evacuated, I don't know if he will become a salted fish. After speaking, Bullet entered the jungle, and his figure gradually disappeared. Have you already been there? Impossible, it's only recently. Bullet is a relatively pure person with clear goals. The meaning of his existence is to constantly become stronger, which Yake appreciates very much. Anyway, it's the only thing I have of value, though I don't need him. This one was given to me by a man named Festa. He wanted to cooperate with me, but I don't need it now. If you want to know what Roger left behind, use it to find it. Even the residents of the capital of the Seven Waters have been taken away by the kingdom of the gods of the sky. There is no god of the Seven Waters here, and it is extremely safe. Living here cannot be better. Raftel's perpetual pointer. Haha, I've already been there, but thanks for giving it to me. Yake, who brought Bullet back to the kingdom of the god of sky, arranged for him a secluded place so that he could practice with peace of mind. Yake laughed and accepted Bullet's permanent record pointer and put it in the storage box carefully. Although Raftel has been there, its use value is still there. After all, this is what everyone has been looking forward to since the beginning of the era of great pirates. Great secret treasure. Originally, Changlian Island was inhabited by nomads, but Yake, the population close at hand, would not let it go. These nomads were allowed to settle in the kingdom of Sky God a year ago, and now they're breeding empty shells. Bullet thought he had never been there, although he was not very interested, but seeing Yake's expression, he believed it. Yark decided to create a Raftel imagined by the world, and then fabricate a false history, but how it becomes reasonable depends on Robin. 171. Rescue plan. Everything has to be considered in the long run. The most important issue at present is the issue of Marine and Vegapunk. Aokiji himself has planted the seeds, and it depends on when the fruits will bear fruit. After thinking about it, Yake still decided to make a call to Drago. Why has there been no news from Vegapunk for so long, and Judge's research speed is still too slow? After the Battle of All Kingdoms, the Revolutionary Army gained a lot of benefits and gained several rich territories, which apparently belonged to the Ark Pirates, but the actual controllers were indeed the Revolutionary Army. Dorag is very grateful for what Jacques has done, and has recently been working on a detailed plan to rescue Dr. Vegapunk to ensure nothing goes wrong. Blue tilde. Dorag, who was in the meeting, frowned. Who would call it this time, but he decided to suspend the meeting after seeing that it was Yake's exclusive call. Wait a minute, comrades. After speaking, Drago walked out of the meeting room and came to a hidden place. Your Excellency Yake, long time no see. I heard that there has been a lot of limelight recently. Bullet has been defeated by you. Do you want to find me today? Dorag, has the location of Vegapunk been confirmed? The plan is about to start. Dr. Vegapunk is a key figure. We should get him as soon as possible. Yake said in a deep voice. If Shirahoshi hadn't asked her Sea Kings to search the calm belt without finding the ship, Yake would have acted alone. It can only show that the location of Vegapunk has become more changeable, not just the calm belt, but unknown corners of the world may be the base of the Marine Science Corps. No way. The only people who know where the Marine Science Corps is stopping are the people from the Revolutionary Army and the world government. Your Excellency Yake, don't worry. To be honest, I was still discussing the details of rescuing Dr. Vegapunk with the cadres of the Revolutionary Army just now. We received a secret message from Dr. Vegapunk. The day after tomorrow will be the time for the Marine Science Corps to resupply. We only have 4 hours to rescue Dr. Vegapunk. Yake was overjoyed. That's great, someone sent a pillow just after falling asleep. 4 hours is more than enough. Where will the boat stop? Let me prepare in advance. The location is on a small island closest to the calm belt in South Blue, and the coordinates will be sent to you. This is the most exposed location, so the Marine Science team will be very careful, and will retreat immediately if there is any trouble. Advertisement. Dorag said seriously. They only come to this place every 6 months, so we must be cautious. I understand. What is your battle plan? How can I cooperate? Yake nodded in agreement. This is definitely a rare opportunity. If you miss it, you don't know when the next time will be. The sooner Vegapunk comes, the better. Haha, don't worry, Your Excellency Yake, the cadres of the South Blue Revolutionary Army are ready and waiting for our final plan. Drago smiled mysteriously and made a fool of himself. Yake hung up the phone helplessly, saying so he had to give up. Not long after, a crow was beating on the window of the shrine with its beak, holding a note in its claws. Not surprisingly, this is the ability of Karas, the commander of the Revolutionary Army North Blue. He is nicknamed Brother Crow, and it is reasonable to arrange a crow to send information. South Blue, Vel Island, never heard of. The crow saw Yake accept the note with the coordinates, flapped his wings and flew away. Yake continued to read the newspaper, and recently made headlines again. Being too good is also an annoyance. Now the title of the strongest man in the world has been automatically transferred to Jacques, but no one dared to challenge him. The pirates in the first half of the Grand Line basically couldn't even pass Perona, let alone Jacques is gone. Kid failed to challenge the red hair and was cut off with a left arm. Yake smiled unkindly. The red hair is really cruel, and finally met a man with the same red hair as him who cut off his left arm. The supernovas are smarter than each other, knowing that Yake is not easy to mess with, and no one has ever dared to come to the Kingdom of the Sky to make trouble. Now the biggest momentum in New World is Kaido's Beasts Pirates and the red-haired Shanks pirate group. Although the Whitebeard pirates took over a lot of territory with Yake, although they have no real emperor-level combat power, they have returned to the ranks of the 4 emperors. Now recognized as the strongest emperor is Yake and his Ark pirates, followed by Kaido's Beasts Pirates. Shanks has always been relatively low-key, and there is no station. Even the flags planted on several islands were burned by the recent supernova Bartolomeo, who really didn't pay attention to the red hair. Captain, it's almost time to eat, it's time to move your butt. Robin Shi ran into the room and leaned against the door frame with a helpless expression. Looking at the work and rest schedule made by Yake himself, I feel a little ironic. Yake, who has nothing to do, is simply a salted fish. Apart from eating, he reads newspapers to pass the time leisurely every day. He doesn't look like a captain or a ruler. Advertisement, new. Yake sighed, tired of reading the newspapers for him, looked up at the schedule, and knew his afternoon schedule. 12 o'clock to 1300, eat. 1300 to 1500, take a nap with Robin, Reiju. 1500 to 1510, sage time. 1510 to 1520, practice. 1520 to 1530, practice. 1530 to 1540, practice. 1540 to 1550, practice. 1550 to 1600, practice. 1600 to 1700, free arrangement. In this way, an afternoon passed, very fulfilling, combining work and rest, and did not forget to exercise. Night. Yake received a call from Dorag, and it seemed that their plan had been discussed. Dorag is me. What is your rescue plan? You should tell me. Mr. Yake, we have confirmed the location of the ship, and you need to protect the safety of Dr. Vegapunk. If the world government knew that we were hunting Vegapunk's attention, they would definitely kill him, and even killing Vegapunk would not let us get him. Yake thought for a while before slowly saying, I know, I will protect his safety. Then I'm relieved. I will personally hold Kizaru until you deliver Vegapunk to a safe address, and other Revolutionary Army fighters will hold Marine and world government agents. The general plan is like this: Sabo is responsible for docking with you and acting with you. 172. The plan begins. Sabo was arranged to act with Yake. In this way, Yake at least confirmed the importance of the Revolutionary Army. If there is no accident, Sabo will be the next leader of the Revolutionary Army. Drago dared to let him out, which shows that this operation is very sure. Okay, I'm going to South Blue tomorrow, and this operation must rescue Vegapunk. Of course, this is the first major operation of our Revolutionary Army exposed to the public. Yake smiled and said nothing. The Revolutionary Army has been lurking for many years, and every time it secretly subverts the country's political power, it is indeed the first time that the action on the surface is unprecedented. Yake hung up the phone, but Anna walked in, seeming to doubt life. Yaksama. Yake rolled his eyes, and when he saw Anna's appearance, he knew that she was going to be a demon again. Didn't he just teach her a middle school course? As for? What's wrong? Why? My B***BS keep growing. With question marks all over his face, Yake took a closer look at Anna's development and found that it really hasn't changed much. It seems that this cup has always been there since she became an adult at the age of 18. So? I don't care if your breasts are long or not. Why don't you let me rub it for you? Anna looked at Yake expectantly. I asked Sister Robin and Sister Reiju, and they both told me to find Yakasama, so here I am. As everyone knows, the reason why Anna was stimulated by this was because she took a bath with Perona yesterday and found that Perona had developed so well that she is now the smallest one in the entire Arc Pirates. Needless to say, Shirahoshi is very talented, Robin and Reiju are both top players, and now even Perona, who is similar to her, has developed. Anna feels a deep sense of crisis. Who doesn't know that Captain Yake is a rejecter? Yake said with some embarrassment. Ha ha ha, then Anna, you have to smile more in the future. Anna rushed into Jake's arms with a stride, looking at him eagerly. Why, Captain, can laughter promote development? Advertisement, don't you know, Leji Sheng Cup, extreme joy begets sorrow? Yake rubbed Anna's head, telling her not to move around on her body, otherwise it would be easy to make mistakes. Which cadre can stand such a test? Anna, don't always compare yourself with Robin, Reiju and the others, take a longer view, before you go with. Speaking of which, Jacques suddenly had nothing to say, because he thought about the women he knew, and found that there seemed to be no one who was about the same age as Anna, and almost all of them were a circle older than her. Anna, why don't you rub it by yourself every day? I heard that it can grow up. Captain, I want you to need for me. At this moment, Anna understood why Robin and Reiju told her to come to Yake. Isn't that bad? Yake looked at the cat-eared girl who was riding on him and wearing a maid outfit, and the atmosphere suddenly became wrong. No, it was Yake who was wrong. Captain, just help Anna meow. Can you? Anna blushed, grabbed Yake's hand and put it on her cub cafeteria, and secretly kissed Yake on the face while Yake was not paying attention. Anna, you. Yake understands that the growth cup is fake, and the body is real. No wonder men don't keep cats, and women don't keep dogs. Now Yake's cats are starting to have ideas for their owners. Yake blushed, he wanted to challenge his weakness. Yaksama, what are you waiting for? Seeing that Jacques hadn't acted for a long time, Anna was in a hurry, so she did it herself and had enough food and clothing. Seeing Anna's initiative, Jacques made a decision against his ancestors. Yake. I admit, I'm a fury accusation, I'm guilty. 10 minutes later, Anna ran out of Yake's office blushing like a thief, her white fur was stained a little pink. Yake swore that he didn't do anything, but helped Anna's cub cafeteria massage a million times, and then Anna said she wanted to go to the bathroom, so she ran away. Advertisement otherwise, with Yake's fighting power, 10 minutes is really insulting. I didn't expect Anna to be so sensitive, hee. Yake showed a smile that only the old driver could understand. After tidying up, Yake was about to leave for Vel Island. He had already told Robin before, so there was no need to say hello, so as not to worry them. According to the direction of the map, Yake quickly walked through the clouds. As long as Yake passed by, a zipper mine would appear. When Yake was about to leave, the loud noise would follow. It took almost half a day for Yake to arrive near the waters of Vel Island. Dorag said it should be that small island. Yake looked at the nearby small islands, and the only one that met the requirements was an uninhabited island on the left. There were no animals or plants on it, only a lonely beach. Yake slowly landed on the island and found that there was indeed no shadow of the Revolutionary Army cadres, so he couldn't help but turn on observation hockey. Ha ha ha, so it's here. Yake sensed that there was a lot of breath under the ground, and just as he was about to say hello, he was brought into the soil by the raised ground. Yake didn't resist, and they were all his own. Mr. Yake, you are here. How offensive you were just now. This is Mr. Murray, and he brought you down. Sabo took off his hat and said apologetically, and pointed to a hairy giant beside him wearing a short plaid skirt. Ha 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 ha, I, the commander of the Western Army, Mori, I have heard of the name of your Excellency Yake for a long time, and I finally saw a real person today. Mori gave Yake a salute in a naive voice to show his respect. Yake looked around. The bare sandy beach was just a camouflage, and Mori used his ability to dig a huge cave underground, which was big enough to hold thousands of people. Yake glanced over and found at least more than 100 Revolutionary Army soldiers preparing in this cave, with guns, ammunition, bombs and other weapons readily available. It seems that the Revolutionary Army has spent a lot of money. Mr. Yake, the ships of the Marine Science Corps will stop here tomorrow morning, and then 3 warships will be sent to Vel Island to purchase supplies. Sabo took out a map, this one marked in red. Mr. Yake, our plan is like this. When the ships of the Marine Science Force stop, you can sneak into the Marine Research Base and find Dr. Vegapunk. We will arrange manpower to stabilize the troops on Veal Island to purchase supplies, and at the same time, some troops will pretend to be passing pirates to attract the attention of the Marine Research Base. Sabo told Yake the detailed plan, mainly to protect Vegapunk's personal safety. 173. Vel Island. Yake knows it well, and naturally knows the importance of Vegapunk. Although his ability to kill is relatively powerful, but in terms of protection, he can only use the electromagnetic barrier. After he is rescued, he must cooperate with Mori to move Vegapunk to a safe place as soon as possible. Nothing to say all night. Yake can be regarded as sharing joys and sorrows with the soldiers of the Revolutionary Army. Although it is an underground cave dugout, it has everything that should be there, but the conditions are not as good as Shenju. In the early morning of the next day, all the soldiers of the Revolutionary Army went to perform their duties, and Yake was waiting for the ship of the Marine Science Corps to appear. Attention, Mr. Yake, at 10 o'clock, the target appears. Sabo whispered to Yake, his eyes fixed on the gradually clear large seastone warship. Yake slowly closed his eyes, perceived the distant ships with knowledge, and analyzed the possible location of Vegapunk. There are 1,412 people on that ship, most of which are concentrated in the middle of the ship, compared to where the research room is located. The defense forces at the bow and stern are also sufficient. After a little perception, Yake understood the general situation of the ship, and at the same time understood that it was impossible for the marine science troops to stay for too long. Kizaru's absence on this ship made Yake feel more at ease. Otherwise, it would be a bit challenging to bring Vegapunk out of Kizaru's hands intact. After Vegapunk evacuated safely, would not be afraid to come to Yake. Mr. Yake, the supply ship is about to open, the opportunity is here, it depends on your strength. Sabo handed Yake a token of the Revolutionary Army, which was used by Vegapunk to confirm his identity. After all, Yake had never been in contact with Vegapunk. Yeah, leave it to me. I'm leaving. Yake put the token into the storage bar, turned it into a thunder and rushed into the sea, and his actions in the sea are more stealthy, and it is not easy to scare the snake. Mr. Yake. You are demon fruit power, hello. Sabo became anxious when he saw Yake plunge into the sea. Isn't demon fruit power afraid of the sea now? Sabo, don't worry, you forgot, Lord Yake is the most special person in the world. Mori said to Sabo meaningfully, and seemed to have great confidence in Yake. Shush, stop talking, someone got off the boat, advertisement. Mori interrupted Sabo, who was hesitant to speak, and got into the pit to observe the situation secretly. Hey, be careful, I feel a little restless today, let's go as soon as we get the supplies. He, Austin Rear Admiral, don't worry, the Marine Science Corps has been established for so long, and there has never been an accident, you must be worrying too much. The chiefs of the 2 marine science units chatted one after another, and led the 2 supply ships to leave the base. No one noticed that an electric current quietly protruded from the seawater and hit the metal door of the base ship. Thunderfruit can allow ability users to flow in conductive media, the higher the conductivity, the faster the speed. The base ship of the Marine Science Force is made of metal except that the deck is made of wood and the bottom of the ship is made of seastone. Let Yake's painstaking plan be very successful, no. Yake keeps walking through the metal and arrives at different rooms. Yake has to go to every room where he feels the breath of life to avoid mistakes. Ah, spare me, I will never be a pirate again. As soon as Yake probed his head, he heard a prisoner in prison uniform screaming, which made Yake frown. Don't worry, the pain won't last long, good boy, close your eyes. A scientific researcher in a white coat comforted him, holding a large needle with a lavender liquid in his hand. Under the terrified eyes of the prisoner, the researcher injected all the liquid into his body. I'm so hot, let me go, Tilda. The prisoner screamed in pain and struggled desperately. The belt used to restrain him creaked unbearably, leaving bloodstains on his hands and feet. The researcher went to the observation room, recorded various indicators of the prisoner's body, wrote and drew in his hand, and glanced at the prisoner's state from time to time. Tilda. The prisoner's screams became louder and louder, and his body gradually began to swell. Boom tilde. Remnants of limbs were scattered all over the room, and the blood mist was steaming. The researcher shook his head and wrote a few words on the record. Advertisement. The 356th Artificial Devil Fruit Ability Coexistence Experiment failed. Oh, I failed again. It's really troublesome. I haven't made any progress recently tilde. The researcher left the observation room, and called several well-wrapped staff to clean the room. Yake was a little confused. Alas, who cares, he will know everything when he finds Vegapunk. There is only one person in the next room. Yake doesn't have much hope, but it still has to be seen. 4 pacifists, what a big deal. In the room, a white-clothed researcher lowered his head to observe something in the petri dish, and 4 tall pacifists were guarding the 4 corners, as if they hadn't turned on the machine yet. Verification successful. Welcome, Dr. Moulton. Yake turned his head to look, and there was someone coming from the main entrance, and the door opened automatically. The researcher in the room just now was Dr. Moulton, who walked into the laboratory after being disinfected. The researcher in white said without raising his head, Moulton, you're here. What's the result of the experiment just now? Dr. Vegapunk, it's not ideal. People from the world government have been urging us recently. We have to speed up the progress. Moulton had a headache, and walked slowly to Vegapunk's side, holding his chin to watch Vegapunk's research. Vegapunk? Is he Vegapunk? Yake's eyes widened. He didn't expect this ordinary researcher to be Vegapunk. All right. Yark admitted that he was wrong. He always thought that there would be something special about Vegapunk. After all, he is known as a scientist who has surpassed human wisdom for 500 years. Yake thinks he has something special. Isn't there generally some kind of scientific madman? Haha, don't worry. Yake is the only person in this world who can obtain multiple levels of fruit abilities. There are too few samples, and we can only continue to test. Vegapunk raised his head and smiled heartily, wiping the sweat off his brow. Dr. Moulton, is there anything else? No, I have to go and see how the airship is designed. I'm always a little worried. Yake's pupils shrank. Has the world government already prepared to build airships? Then go ahead, I'll check it out later. 174. Vegapunk. Dr. Moulton shook his head and left the laboratory. Vegapunk continued to observe the petri dish, and no one noticed that Yake had sneaked into the laboratory. ZZZ tilde. A burst of electricity disturbed Vegapunk's thoughts, and he looked around vigilantly. A cloud of blue electric current slowly emerges from the ground, condensing into a human form in Vegapunk's shocked eyes. Dr. Vegapunk, I have known you for a long time. I am Yake. I believe you should know me. Yake smiled and looked at Vegapunk, releasing his kindness, but Vegapunk still seemed frightened. You, what are you doing here? To take my life? Vegapunk hastily took out a remote control, pressed the switch, and the eyes of the pacifist in the corner glowed red. A bounty offender Yake has been detected, extremely dangerous, launch an attack immediately. Diddy tilde. The pacifist's mouth was condensed with dazzling yellow light waves, aimed at Yake. Yake smiled slightly, and with a wave of his palm, the pacifist was instantly torn apart and turned into parts. Electromagnetic force. I should have thought of that. Vegapunk saw Yake's methods at a glance. Smart people are different. Dr. Vegapunk, don't be nervous. I'm an ally of the Revolutionary Army. I'm here to rescue you. Look. Yake took out the token of the Revolutionary Army and handed it to Vegapunk to disarm him. Vegapunk took the token of the Revolutionary Army and studied it carefully, and he believed it in his heart, but he didn't expect the Revolutionary Army to move so fast, and someone came to rescue him as soon as he released the news. It's indeed a token of the Revolutionary Army. I didn't expect that it was God Yake who came to rescue me, a bad old man. Haha, what a surprise. After confirming Yake's identity, Vegapunk stared straight at Yake. For a scientist like him, Yake has too many secrets, and he has been greedy for a long time. 1. He has been envious of the power of thunder and lightning for a long time. As long as Yake cooperates in the research, he can develop a more perfect machine than the pacifist in a short time. Vegapunk is very interested in both the power of lightning and Yark's physique that can hold 3 devil fruits, and he can't wait to dissect him on the spot. Advertisement Yake couldn't help shivering when he saw the green light in Vegapunk's eyes. Are scientists so scary? Judge doesn't seem so scary. Mr. Yake, I have an idea. I don't know. I refuse. What's the matter after I take you out? Yake rejected Vegapunk without even thinking about it. Yake couldn't understand his own body. His body only belonged to Robin, Reiju, and Hancock. Oh tilde, what a pity. Let's do it, Mr. Yake. How are you going to rescue me? The defense here is quite tight. Vegapunk said worriedly that although he is a scientific genius favored by the world government, his authority in this research base is far inferior to that of an officer, and he is nothing if he leaves this laboratory. Vegapunk, please rest assured, I and the Revolutionary Army will protect your safety, and now we will wait for the Revolutionary Army to create chaos. Yake said lightly, now just wait, the pirate ship disguised by the Revolutionary Army should pass by the Marine Research Base soon. Ah tilde, then we might as well take advantage of the present. Vegapunk made a, expression towards Yake, and Yake's small face wrinkled his chrysanthemum. If Vegapunk was not a genius scientist, he would be easily killed with his character. I reject. Yake said he firmly defended his title of rejector. Outside the base ship, a pirate ship was slowly moving forward, and it was coming towards them, which immediately attracted the attention of the security team. A pirate ship is approaching. Everyone be on alert. Wake up the pacifists. As soon as the words fell, all the ship's guns were aimed at the pirate ship of the Revolutionary Army, and a dozen pacifists walked from the cabin to the bow. Inside the base, there was a loud warning sound and red lights flashing. It's time, Dr. Vegapunk, we should go. Yark unleashes an electromagnetic barrier and runs off with Vegapunk on his shoulders. Vegapunk, please immediately. As soon as the two of Yake left, a team of armed men with live ammunition rushed into Vegapunk's research room, trying to control him, but it was a pity that they left the tea. Vegapunk escaped. Shit. I knew this was a premeditated operation. Hurry up and notify the world government and Kizaru Admiral. Get Vegapunk back. Advertisement, yes. Yake took Vegapunk quickly through the cabin, fully informed, and tried his best to avoid the armed personnel on board, so as not to cause unnecessary trouble. Mr. Yake, your ability is really amazing. After we escape, can you let me study it? But, Dr. Vegapunk is still in the hands of Yake, in case. Yake silently electrocuted 2 Marines who were blocking the way. Are all scientists so big-hearted? Fortunately, it was close to the hull. HMPH, take Vegapunk and go. Lousy is very upset that he couldn't fight back just now. Quick! Vegapunk is in Yake's hands, don't let him take Vegapunk away, kill him. If it weren't for Yake's release of the electromagnetic barrier, I'm afraid the Vegapunk on his shoulders would have been smashed into a sieve. Yake's flying speed is very fast, but fortunately it will take a while for Kizaru to come over. Yake twisted his neck and held his breath in his heart. After being beaten for so long, he was finally able to vent his anger. Let's go? Impossible. Now is not the time to talk about this, let's talk about it after you get out alive. Wait. Your Excellency Yake, after receiving the news, Kizaru will be here soon, there is no need to entangle him. Kizaru. Great, I haven't hit him in ages. The wall closest to the hull was broken down by the current. Yake finally saw the outside world, and flew directly out of the base ship with Vegapunk. Vegapunk's saliva is about to flow out, the high voltage current released by Yake at will, and the blue electromagnetic barrier that resists bullets are all of great research value. Drago said excitedly. Yake put down the Vegapunk on his shoulders and handed it to Drago to take away. Thunderbolt Torrent. Drago. Yark has brought Vegapunk to the planned evacuation location. Your Excellency Yake, you should evacuate as soon as possible, and the rest will be handed over to our revolutionary soldiers. Your Excellency Yake, thank you, I will evacuate with Dr. Vegapunk as soon as possible. Idiot, even if Vegapunk is dead, he can't let a dangerous person like Yake get it, stop him. 175. Kizaru cowered when he heard that Kizaru was coming to Yake, he showed a playful smile. This is a door-to-door service. Kizaru, who turned into a streamer and galloped in the air, frowned, and suddenly had a bad feeling. It's a disgusting feeling. The old man won't be beaten up today, right? Kizaru shook his head and continued on his way. This time, it was not only Aokiji's order, but also the world government's urgent request, which valued Vegapunk very much. It's just that Kizaru thinks this task is too pending. When the world government gave him a task, he was still performing another task on the Grand Line. With his ability, the weather is good if he arrives in time. Dr. Vegapunk has been rescued, evacuate immediately. Sabo was notified by Drago, and immediately sent a notice to the Revolutionary Army on the scene after flying a Marine casually. In order to resist the counterattack of the Marine research base, many soldiers had been sacrificed, and they should evacuate as soon as possible. Thunder God's punishment. Let's go, I'll be your queen. Yake slowly landed from the air, signaling Sabo to lead people to evacuate quickly. Thunder and lightning overflowed from his body, and there was a bang from time to time. Well, thank you, Mr. Yake, then let's go first. Sabo gave Yake a grateful look, and left without looking back. The soldiers of the Revolutionary Army also evacuated one after another, and the soldiers of the Marine research base neither chased nor fought. After all, the man in front of him is the legendary god Yake, the strongest man in the world. Some soldiers were trembling just looking at Yake, and they couldn't hold their guns steady. Damn it, kill him quickly. A man who looked like an officer yelled at the soldiers, dissatisfied with their state. HMPH, what a courage. Yake flashed to the side of the man, grabbed his neck, lifted him directly, and faced himself. Tilde cough, let go, let me go. The man blushed and struggled desperately. Advertisement. Yake glanced at the enemies around him, and found that he had surrounded them, so it was time for a wave. Throwing the man in his hand away like throwing garbage, Yake stretched his waist, but the electric current on his body rioted. Electric energy surge. A powerful electromagnetic storm erupted centered on Yake and swept across the entire sea area in an instant. Only the most shocking thunder can shatter the heaviest darkness. Yake has developed countless usages of lightning based on his own understanding. Today, lightning is still his most important and convenient means of attack. This is still in the pirate world with the theme of the sea. If Yake returns to the normal world and makes up for scientific knowledge, maybe Yake can destroy a planet through lightning. Under the blue-purple electromagnetic storm, the entire Marine science force was wiped out, even the base ship was not spared. The flames on the base ship and the hydrogen produced by Legia's seawire produced a chain reaction, and a huge explosion occurred on the sea. Yake raised his hand to cover his eyes, and the aftermath of the explosion could not shake his body. 8-foot Chong Guyu. Kizaru saw the explosion on the sea from a long distance, and immediately locked on the leisurely Yake in the air, and launched an attack. The overwhelming light bullets hit Yake. Kizaru, here you come. Yake's figure kept flickering, and he came to Kizaru's side in a few breaths. It's scary. It doesn't work at all. It's really distressing, this old man. How can I deal with such a monster? Seeing that Yake hadn't made a move, Kizaru couldn't help adjusting his glasses, feeling a little tricky, and Yake put him under a lot of pressure. Since Yake's debut, he seems to be his background board, and the speed he is proud of is not so prominent in front of Leiden. But today Kizaru has to fight Yake, otherwise there is no way to explain to the world government. It is best to be the kind that looks seriously injured, but is actually only slightly injured. Thinking of this, Kizaru pursed his lips. Yake, I can't kill you anyway, why don't we play a show? Otherwise, let you go like this, I won't be able to explain to Aokiji. Yark. Is this Marine Admiral? Advertisement. Yake couldn't help being a little funny when he heard Kizaru's words. It seems that he has scared Kizaru in the past few years. It left him with a psychological shadow. Kizaru Admiral, are you serious? Why don't you be a marine and come to our kingdom of God in the sky? I'll give you 6 insurances, 2 golds and afternoon tea, how about it? Now that Kizaru has admitted that Yake is embarrassed to beat up an old man who just wants to fish, after thinking about it for a while, Yake offered a condition that made Kizaru extremely excited. This treatment is already comparable to the mayor in the kingdom of Sky. Take this as, don't be joking. First joined Marine at the age of 26 and have been working hard. How could I join pirates? You underestimate this old man. Kizaru had a serious expression and rejected Yake's invitation with righteous words. It's such a pity, Kizaru Admiral, but don't worry, the good days of the world government are numbered, and this promise will still be valid when the time comes. Yake took a meaningful look at Kizaru, and after he instigated Martial Marine, it was time for him and the Revolutionary Army to launch a general attack on the world government. Kizaru's face changed, and Yake's words gave him a bad feeling. Is he ready for a showdown with the world government? 8-foot mirror. Before he had time to think about it, Kizaru found that Jacques had pulled out a giant sword at some point, and when he saw that he had malicious intentions, he immediately prepared to run away. It's not a question of calling in sick if you get a knife. Kizaru Admiral, bear with me, my knife is huge. Kizaru had no choice but to fight with Yake. Although he was not cut by the end of the wolf, he was beaten black and blue and seriously injured. Now he understands how strong Yak was who killed the 4 emperors in just one day. This is beyond his comprehension. I am afraid that only the rocks who ruled the sea can compare with him. Small, the pattern is small. After beating Kizaru, Yake was refreshed and ready to return to the kingdom of the gods of the sky. The Revolutionary Army has brought Vegapunk to the kingdom of the gods of the sky. Because the Revolutionary Army has no conditions to manufacture high-tech laboratories, they had to send Vegapunk as agreed. Bring it here. Hey, isn't this Judge? Why are you here? I thought you were dead. When Vegapunk came to Baibai's research base of Sky God Kingdom, he found an old acquaintance, but his face didn't look very good. Hey tilde Vegapunk, you be asterisk 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 D. I didn't expect to work with you at this age. Judge sighed helplessly and stretched out his right hand towards Vegapunk. 176. Lab talk. They're all old colleagues for many years, so there is nothing to say. Judge took it to visit the research base of Sky God Kingdom. Walking to the material room, Judge pointed to the happy Wobble and said, Vegapunk, look, he's the key to our special materials, munch fruit-capable person, Wobble. To this day, Wobble has given up resistance and is honestly working as a blue-collar worker in the research base, eating metal and other materials every day, synthesizing Wobble metal by the way, and living a comfortable life. So that's the case. I said how the special metals that appeared in the sea recently couldn't be copied. It turned out to be the product of Devil Fruit's ability. No wonder. I didn't expect that. A king would actually produce raw materials for you. Vegapunk is a little bit emotional. He has been researching the Wabo metal that has only recently begun to circulate in the sea. Although he has cracked the principle, he can't manufacture it. Wabo metal is the key to the world government's research on airships, so he can only buy them in large quantities. Ha ha ha, this is nothing. A magical device recently brought out by Master Yake is the key to mass production. Judge likes to see Vegapunk look like he has never seen the world, and he immediately smiles, and brings Vegapunk to a heavily guarded room. Dr. Judge, your identity has been confirmed, please enter. Walking into the room, Vegapunk discovered that there was a 2-way transport device, and with Vegapunk's wisdom, he immediately realized that something was wrong. One end is conveying rubbish, and the other end is really valuable metal. It looks like Wabo metal. Is it because of that strange machine? Vegapunk strode over to the material converter for a closer look, not paying any attention to the stench of garbage on the left. It's amazing. This has violated the principles of science. Could it be that this device ate devil fruit? The more Vegapunk looks at it, the more incredible it becomes. A large amount of garbage disappears out of thin air, but the storage device is not seen. Instead, Wabo metal is generated from the other end. This has subverted Vegapunk's cognition. After much deliberation, only the magical devil fruit ability can explain it. Up. Ha ha ha, Vegapunk, this thing is not only able to produce Wabo metal, it can produce gold, water, food, etc. Master Yake said it is a material converter. Advertisement, I don't know the specific principle anyway. It can convert anything into known substances in this world. Thanks to it, we have solved the problem of our lack of rare materials. Judge happily explained to Vegapunk that it was the first time he saw Vegapunk scratching his head, which made him regain a little bit of confidence. Great, this thing is definitely the most precious item in the world, maybe with it. Vegapunk's words stopped abruptly. Some words should not be said casually. Vegapunk took a deep look at Judge and stopped talking. Next, Judge took Vegapunk to visit other projects of Sky God Kingdom. Except for the electromagnetic gun, Vegapunk could not be shocked by anything else. Vegapunk knew the principle at a glance. Judge gave Vegapunk an electromagnetic gun. Unexpectedly, Vegapunk was dismantled into parts 3 times and 2 times, and he was still commenting on it. Electromagnetic gun? Is this a weapon made with Mr. Yake's ability as a blueprint? It's really terrifying power. The power is comparable to Kizaru Admiral's laser light, but the energy consumption and upper limit are much higher. Speaking of this, Vegapunk remembered Yake's various abilities released by using electromagnetic force before, and became even more greedy for Yake's body. The power of thunder and lightning. I really hope that Mr. Yake can cooperate with me to study for a while. I advise you to rat tail juice. Master Yake is not Kizaru, he is the only god. Judge immediately dispelled Vegapunk's thoughts and studied Yake. He didn't dare to tell Yake directly that if Yake didn't want to study electromagnetic weapons, he wouldn't have the opportunity to study the ability of lightning. Ha ha ha, Mr. Judge, it's not up to you, Mr. Yake promised me. Vegapunk smiled mysteriously, causing Judge's heart to sink gradually. It's over, and he is really useless. What are you talking about? Yake pushed open the door and walked into the laboratory. Vegapunk looked at Yake with surprised eyes, which made Yake shrank his neck involuntarily. He had only seen this kind of look in Hancock's eyes. Could this Vegapunk be gay? Advertisement? Master Yake, you came just in time. I just took Dr. Vegapunk to visit our research base, and then I will hand it over to Lord Yake. Judge seemed to be in a bad mood, and left like an abandoned daughter-in-law. Before leaving, he gave Yake a resentful look. It's not right, you are not right, Yake screamed crazily in his heart. All the scientists seem to have something wrong with their brains. Mr. Yake, your laboratory really opened my eyes. There are many places worthy of my study. Vegapunk smiled and stretched out his right hand to Yake, and Yake flinched and stretched out his right hand after a battle between heaven and man. Dr. Vegapunk, I have a question for you. How much do you know about Uranus? Yake discarded distracting thoughts, and told Vegapunk his question in a serious manner, which was also the answer he was eager to know. Uranus? It seems that you already know it. People from the world government once took me to the depths of the Red Line once, and let me study there for half a year. Vegapunk crossed his arms, remembering what the world government did 5 years ago. The research project at that time was how to enable Uranus to launch attacks without interruption. By the way, I called that kind of attack a nuclear explosion. After thinking for a while, Vegapunk slowly said, since he has escaped the control of the world government, there is no need to hide some words in his heart. In fact, I already have research results, but I think it would be too dangerous to hand over this ability to the world government easily. I deliberately pretended that there was no result, and the world government let me leave, and I have never had the opportunity to study again. Uranus is gone. Yake looked happy. It seemed that he had made the right bet. Vegapunk did research on Uranus. Fortunately, Vegapunk did not hand over the research results to the world government. Otherwise, if Uranus can really launch nuclear explosions without interruption, it will be impossible to play. Wonder what Dr. Vegapunk knows about Uranus. 177. Ways to restrain Uranus. Vegapunk thought for a while before speaking slowly. Uranus is a huge creature. There is no doubt that it has devil fruit ability, but it is in a strange state, delirious, and has no consciousness of its own. Yake frowned and said, it's like being controlled by someone? That's right, it has been in a deep sleep state when I was researching it. According to the world government, it has been asleep for nearly 700 years, that is to say, it acted once at the end of the 100 years it disappeared. Vegapunk said his inference, but it caused waves in Yake's heart. If nothing else, Uranus dispatched the D family to suppress the resistance at least once. This time, most of the resistance forces in Rear Admiral were suppressed, so the rest of D's tribe would remain anonymous. That's right, Dr. Vegapunk, I agree with you. I wonder if there is any way to restrain Uranus. If we want to overthrow the world government, Uranus is an unavoidable hurdle. Vegapunk laughed, making Yake a little confused. Ha ha ha, Mr. Yake, it's actually very simple, isn't it demon fruit power? Just use sea stone. It's that simple? Yake couldn't believe it. He had guessed that Uranus was a demon fruit power, but he didn't think that using sea stone could restrain Uranus because it was too big. Luffy's shadow is attached to Ozzy's body, and it's fine to play with the lower body in the sea, as long as the whole body is not submerged in the sea. The same goes for Uranus. It's not easy to say, because what we need is not ordinary sea stone, but the essence of sea stone. Vegapunk spoke a word that Yark had never heard before, but Yark immediately understood what Vegapunk meant. Is it the substance extracted from sea stone? Vegapunk shook his head. Yes or no, sea stone essence is the associated mineral of sea stone, a mineral that can only appear in large sea stone veins. This is it. Vegapunk took out a gray stone from his pocket, the size of a marble, with a plain appearance and nothing special. This is the essence of sea stone? Advertisement holding Yake in his hand, he couldn't feel anything special. Vegapunk's eyes almost popped out. The essence of sea stone is 100 times more effective than sea stone. When he took it out just now, he wanted to see his reaction. It's fine in the air, but he has a strong physique. But now, he actually got it directly in his hand, and he looked like he was okay. You, what kind of monster are you? Aren't you demon fruit power? Yake looked at Vegapunk a little strangely. What happened to the demon fruit power? Wait, it seems that I am really different from ordinary demon fruit power. Ha ha ha, Dr. Vegapunk, I am no longer afraid of the weakness of the sea and sea stone, so this thing doesn't work for me. Vegapunk gasped, and his eyes turned green when he saw Yake. Really, I don't believe it, unless you let me check the body. Snapped. Yake slapped Vegapunk's salty pig's hand away with a slap, and he made a move as soon as he came up. Don't I, Yaksama, want to lose face? We'll talk about that at a later time. Tell me Uranus's solution first. Hey, I was the one who was abrupt. Vegapunk scratched his head in embarrassment. While researching Uranus, I have created a rapid cooling device, which can shorten the attack interval of Uranus by 80%, but I did not tell the world government. To get rid of Uranus, I need to make a small change to the rapid cooling device. The key to the change is to get a lot of sea stone essence. Vegapunk held the essence of sea stone in his hand and said solemnly. Nobody knows Uranus better than he. At first, I thought that it might be necessary to dig a lot of sea stone to find enough sea stone essence. I didn't expect you to have such a magical device as a material converter. It seems that you can get it together in a short time. Dr. Vegapunk, I'm not too sure about the conversion ratio of the material converter. I'll trouble you to do more experiments as soon as something is converted into sea stone essence. Yake spread his hands helplessly. The material converter is indeed buggy, but it is also very mysterious. Throwing a few pieces of wood into it can be converted into a large pile of diamonds, and only 1 ton of garbage can be converted into 1 gram of gold. It is very fascinating. Advertisement? Oh. Is that so? I understand, but I still need to get used to it for a while, Mr. Yake. If you have anything else, just ask. Yake thought for a while and remembered a person. Bear. Haha, of course I have an impression. It was his sacrifice that moved me, otherwise I wouldn't have the idea of escaping from the Marine Research Base. Vegapunk took out another black hard drive-like thing, and Yake's eyes lit up. Yake showed a smile. 2 years are almost here. No, this can activate his self-awareness, but it will take some time to recover. Now the bear should carry out his final mission with the pirate. Yake is very sorry for what happened to the bear. The fruit of the bear has been developed to an extremely deep level, and it is a rare special combat power. Yake needs his strength. Dorag, Vegapunk is currently researching. Don't worry, there are many opportunities to meet. By the way, the bear is saved. Yake saw that Vegapunk couldn't wait to enter the research state, so he turned and left with interest. HMPH, thank you, Mr. Vegapunk. You have really helped me a lot. You should familiarize yourself with this place first. I won't bother you. Does this contain the consciousness of a bear? Well, there is indeed a chance, as long as you find his body and plug this in. Dorag wants to talk to Vegapunk himself, but this is Yake's territory, so he has to say hello to the master anyway. Vegapunk, Bartholomew Bear, do you still have an impression? That's right, after a while, when he finishes his mission, I'll go and bring him back. Sabo looked at Yake excitedly. Bear? Is it Mr. Bear? Vegapunk handed over the black hard drive to Yake without any regrets. Your Excellency Yake, Dr. Vegapunk will stay with you for the time being. I don't know. Is there no way for him to recover? Since you have a way to annihilate his consciousness, did you leave any behind the scenes? After all, he is also an important cadre of the Revolutionary Army. As soon as he went out, Yake found that Drago and Sabo were waiting for him outside the door. Advertisement 178. 5 Elders Wrath Holy Land Marijoy. What did you say? Vegapunk was taken away intact by that goddamn B************ D. Yake. The fact that Yake and the Revolutionary Army cooperated to take Vegapunk away was reported to the 5 Elders immediately, which has exceeded their expectations. They have never confronted Yake in the middle, and they will never know how strong he is. Where's Kizaru? Didn't he rush over? Why didn't Vegapunk stay? Aokiji smiled helplessly when he heard what 5 Elders said, with a hint of sarcasm, feeling more and more disappointed with the world government in his heart. Kizaru Admiral encountered Yak on the return journey. After a fierce battle, he was seriously injured and is still unconscious. He is being treated at naval headquarters. In fact, Kizaru's injury was not so exaggerated, it was simply to stop 5 Elders' mouth. Anyway, Marine did everything he was supposed to do, and even injured a Marine Admiral in order to keep Vegapunk. Aokiji broke the can, and a man came to his mind. A blonde old man in 5 Elders frowned and was speechless. He vaguely felt that something was wrong with Aokiji's state, but he didn't know what was wrong. The 5 old men summed up with each other before the blonde man spoke. Kuzan, we are very dissatisfied with Marine's actions this time. The CP department has news of several Revolutionary Army officers. I want you to dispatch Marine immediately to capture the exposed Revolutionary Army and give everyone an explanation. Otherwise, next year's Marine military expenditure will be reduced by 10%. You'd better treat this operation well. Aokiji didn't fluctuate in his heart, and even wanted to laugh a little. Is this the face of the world government? Enough is enough. Don't worry, we Marine will do our best to catch all the criminals. Aokiji's acting skills are very successful. It seems that he has given in to the world government. 5 Elders is very satisfied. The bone-seeking dog finally recognizes who his master is. Hanging up the phone, Aokiji closed his eyes, thinking of his Marine career, decades. From a hot-blooded boy to a Marine Marshal, the happiest time was when he was just emerging. The higher the rank, the more he felt the dark side of the world. Aokiji opened the drawer, and took out a small piece of paper in a hidden place, with a string of numbers neatly written on it. Teacher Zephyr, I really don't know if my approach is right or wrong. Advertisement some time ago, the new Shichibukai appointed by the world government came out, Whitebeard 2 Edward Wable. Zephyr Admiral learned that the pirate who cut off his arm and killed many of his students joined Marine to become 7 warlords of the sea, began to have a strong sense of doubt and distrust within Marine, and resolutely quit Marine to wipe out pirates all over the world. Neo Marine was established for this purpose. Now wandering around New World hunting pirates, Marine is really doing nothing. Let CP carry out the plan. Yake's power is getting more and more rampant, and he must know who is the master of the sea. Agreed, White Spectre will come over immediately. HMPH, this time we must let Yake understand that the world government is not so easy to mess with. The 5 Elders discussed the conspiracy against the god of Sky Kingdom lawfully, and seemed to be very confident in this operation. Dr. Vegapunk, did you have any new discoveries for calling me here in such a hurry? Vegapunk has been stationed in the Kingdom of Skygod for a while, and has been researching cooling devices for Uranus. If he hadn't been called suddenly this time, Yake would have almost forgotten that Vegapunk was still researching secret weapons. Mr. Yake, my design drawing has been completed, and now I need materials. Vegapunk took out a sophisticated item design and placed it on the table. Yake slowly read out the name of the equipment, Nuclear Reaction Neutralizer? Vegapunk smiled mysteriously. That's right, after this device is manufactured, as long as it is put into Uranus's body, it can force him to cool down when he activates his ability. In other words, let's not use the ability to use nuclear explosions. Yake probably understands what Vegapunk means. He has fought against Uranus before. Every time he releases a nuclear explosion, he needs to control a large amount of seawater to cool it down, so as to improve its battery life and let it release the next round of strikes faster. This device is an ultra-high efficiency coolant, which makes Uranus misfire directly, so that its destructive power will be greatly reduced, and there is no need to worry about nuclear pollution. But how to put it in? Uranus won't let people enter its body easily. Yake frowned and looked at Vegapunk. At this time, he was betrayed. Hey, Uranus has more than one hole in his body? Advertisement. Vegapunk smiled wretchedly, hinting at Yake crazily. Good guy, Vegapunk, I didn't expect that you, a guy with thick eyebrows and big eyes, are also an old driver. I don't understand you. He. The mouth is where it emits energy. It is indeed dangerous to enter from there, but its chrysanthemum is safe. So, if there is such a day, please trouble, tilde. Vegapunk gave Yake a meaningful look. Could it be that I'm going to drill its buttocks? I won't do this. Can't I let other people drill it? Yake suddenly felt nauseous. Is this a solution that people in Yangjian can come up with? This matter is none other than you, Mr. Yake. Hey, only you are not afraid of sea stone. You won't let an ordinary person fly into the sky to drill Uranus's buttocks, right? Are you right? Hey, after hearing what you said, do you really have to go? I have a bad temper. Dr. Vegapunk, I advise you to consider other methods, otherwise it will be difficult for me to do it. Yake took out a small nail clipper and laid it across Vegapunk's neck. Hey, Tilda, I have something to say. I'm just making a little joke. You are acquainted, Tilda. Yake snorted coldly and retracted the nail clippers. There are countless ways to put it in Uranus. The main reason is that we need a large amount of sea stone to quickly obtain the sea stone essence for making nuclear reaction neutralizers. Vegapunk straightened his face and took out an exchange list. This is the detailed ratio table he obtained by taking the time to study the matter converter. Hiss, Tilda. Yake gasped. You call that a lot of sea stone? It's obviously massive. Okay. Sea stone is a rare mineral in this world. Where can I find so many sea stone for you, etc. Wano Kuni seems to be rich in sea stone, right? 179. Aokiji incoming call. Yake took a closer look at the conversion ratio of sea stone essence. 10 tons of seawater equals 1 kilogram of sea stone. 1 ton of sea stone equals 1 kilogram of sea stone essence. Vegapunk needs 500 kilograms of sea stone essence to manufacture a nuclear reaction neutralization device, which means that Yak needs at least 500 tons of sea stone or 5,000 tons of seawater, but considering the time cost and transportation cost. Not to mention other materials, the conversion ratio of garbage, wood and other substances into sea stone essence is frighteningly low. Only 10,000 tons of wood can be converted into 1 kilogram of sea stone essence. Experiment. In order to experiment with the conversion ratio, I almost exhausted the cat. So Yake can only choose sea stone. Yake is not worried about whether he can win Wano Kuni, but whether Wano Kuni's sea stone can support him to extract so much sea stone essence. Although only 500 kilograms of sea stone essence is needed, Yake does not want to throw all the eggs alone. At least 2 nuclear reaction neutralization devices must be prepared to be prepared, so Yake's expected goal is 1,000 tons of sea stone. Mr. Yake, sea stone is a specialty of Wano Kuni, and it is the territory of the 4 emperors Kaido. My suggestion is to take down Wano Kuni and occupy Wano Kuni's sea stone vein. Vegapunk's suggestion is very pertinent. Yake is ready to fight Kaido. It is only a matter of time before he leads the army to defeat Wano Kuni, but Luffy's 2-year training is coming soon. Yak has to kill Wano Kuni's future monarch first. Maybe it would be good to let Shaozi know, Kazuki Hiyori manage Wano Kuni instead? Dr. Vegapunk, I understand. I will discuss the matter of going to war with Kaido with the members of the Ark Pirates. For the time being, let's buy a ready-made sea stone on the market. Yake thought for a while before saying that he is not in a hurry to go directly to Kaido to fight. The kingdoms were destroyed not long ago. Excessive display of strength will make the world government sensitive, and the sea still needs a temporary balance. No problem, Mr. Yake. Anyway, I'm only in charge of research, and I can't solve the acquisition. Yake. Not wanting to talk to the old guy anymore, Yake got up and left. Kamiju, man-made sea. Shirahoshi was learning the power use techniques recorded in the scroll of animal skins, and the seawater was playing with flowers in her hands. Hee, let's bloom, flowers of the sea, advertisement. Shirahoshi gently pushed the transparent flower formed by the condensed seawater, and the flower hit the target melodiously, and exploded instantly, blasting the target full of holes. Papa tilde. Anna clapped vigorously. Shirahoshi could not have achieved such results without her efforts. That's great, meow tilde Shirahoshi, as expected of me. Anna is really a genius, meow, ouch tilde. When Anna was bragging, Robin transformed his arm and slapped Anna's cat head lightly. Anna, Shirahoshi, come over to class quickly, the middle school class has begun. Robin said lightly, holding a large stack of books in her hand. Shirahoshi nodded excitedly. She is a good child who loves to study. As for Anna. No. 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 Anna limp on the ground weakly, screaming to the sky. She hated her tragic fate. Anna, why do you call it like a butcher? Oh tilde. Jacques, who just came back, looked at Anna with a strange face until he saw the book in Robin's hand and immediately understood. A frightening light flashed in Anna's eyes. She stared straight at Yake, started with burning tires, and flew towards Yake with hands and feet. Flash. Yake was scared, and he just flashed away, avoiding Anna's vicious cat pounce. Yaksama, take me away. Second round flower mastery. Two smooth white arms grabbed Anna's little feet that had no place to rest. Anna was busy moving goods some time ago, but now she is free and finally has time to study. Robin will not let her go. Yake leaned on the recliner, and Reiju, who was working on the side, stepped forward to rub Yake's shoulders and massage. Yake, what's the matter? You seem to be very troubled. Reiju let Yake rest his head on himself, gently soothing Yake's nerves. Oh, it's nothing. We're going to fight Kaido in a while. We need a lot of sea stone to make equipment to deal with Uranus. Advertisement, I thought there was something. Captain, go ahead and fight. We will always support you. Reiju smiled coquettishly and kissed Yake on the forehead. Yake was in Reiju's exclamation Vice Admiral. She pulled her into her arms, but her hands became dishonest. Captain, it's still daytime. You won't? It's okay, I've installed an electromagnetic barrier, so others can't hear it. He, you can't escape. With a glance at Reiju Encyclopedia, all kinds of styles can be seen at a glance. As the saying goes, if you have something to do, the secretary does it, and if you have nothing to do, then do it. Reiju can be regarded as Yake's half-secretary, so I won't go into details about what happened next, to save traffic. Late at night, God's residence. Yake was just about to be slept with, but he did not expect to receive an unexpected call. There was no way, it was Marine Marshal Aokiji, and it seemed that he had already thought it through. Robin activated his ability, handed the phone bug to Jake, cleared his throat, and connected the phone bug. Jake's voice was slightly tired. Yake said with a smile, Marshal Aokiji, it seems that you have considered the future of your Marine. Your Excellency Yake, I need to know where Marine should go after leaving the world government. Kuzan's call this time was very secretive. New phone bugs and anti-eavesdropping devices were prepared. For this reason, he even applied for overtime, in order not to let the world government suspect. Marine is still Marine. In the future, Marine is a team purely for maintaining law and order. It only needs to carry out righteous actions and does not need to worry about political factors. Yake talked a lot, and Aokiji listened carefully. He agreed with Yake's words very much. His thoughts coincided with Yake's. If Marine can really become what Yake said, then why not betray the world government? Your Excellency Yake, I understand. What do you need Marine to do for you? Hearing Aokiji's words, Yake knew that this matter was over, and the Marine Marshal turned his back on it, so the Marine side was fine. Marine doesn't have to do anything, just don't stop us, then you'll know why. As long as Marine stands by, Yake's pressure will be reduced by more than half. Marine's military strength is the strongest in the world, and if he is right with him, it will bring a lot of help. The two discussed some other things before ending this historic call, and Yake couldn't help laughing. The world is about to go right. 180. Attack of the White Phantom. See Circle Calendar 1522, Sabodi Archipelago. Yake came to Sabodi this time not to see the reunion of Straw Hat Crew, but to activate his ontological consciousness with a black hard drive after Shang completed the task, so he personally sent Chopper here. At the place where the Sunny was parked, although the Sunny was dilapidated, the basic facilities were considered complete, because there was a man who had been protecting their ship. Ah! It's 7 warlords of the sea, Chopper exclaimed, hid behind Yake's calf, and looked at the bear vigilantly. Yake was a little bit emotional. Shang's condition is not very good now, his body is full of scars, blood, electric current, swords, guns, swords and halberds, all kinds of weapons. PX0 represents his identity. DDDD tilde an extremely dangerous person has been detected. God Yake, the ship doctor of the Straw Hat Pirates Chopper. Mission completed. Shang stood up slowly, walking very hard as if the network was delayed. Don't worry about Chopper, he meant no harm. Yake threw Chopper aside and took out the black hard drive. Vegapunk said that there is a jack on the bear's left chest, just plug the hard drive into it. Yake appeared in front of the bear in an instant, blocking his way. Tear tilde. Yake ripped off the tattered clothes of the bear, and inserted the hard drive into the small hole in the bear's chest. Diddy tilde alarm, the system will go to sleep in 10 seconds. Yake stepped back quickly to see what would happen. 10, 9, 8, 7, 2, 1. The bear's eyes darkened, closed slowly, and there was no more movement, as if it was dead. Yake was not surprised. According to Vegapunk, this is a normal situation, and then he just needs to bring him back to the kingdom of God in the sky and hand it over to Vegapunk. Yake touched Chopper's head. Chopper, I'll send you here. As for how to find your companion, it's none of my business. Chopper looked confused. What happened just now? Hearing Yake's words, he suddenly realized. Hey, thank you Mr. Yake, you are such a good man, I'm leaving. Advertisement. Chopper bid farewell to Yake with tears in his eyes. After staying in the kingdom of the sky for nearly 2 years, he has become a respected medical teacher. He has his own students and friends, and he already has a deep understanding of the kingdom of the sky. Emotion. Halfway through, Chopper yelled at Yake. Mr. Yake. After I circle the sea, I will definitely come back. Jacques didn't look back, and stood with his back to Chopper and waved, with the corners of his mouth raised. The little reindeer was still tricked by him after all. Let's go, Bear, I'll take you to Vegapunk first. Yake grabbed the bear's body and flew into the sky, heading straight for the Kingdom of the Sky. Straw Hat Crew reuniting him is not very interested, wait until New World is meeting them. Bye-bye hi, the research base. Dr. Vegapunk, I have brought back the body of the bear, and I have reactivated it with the hard drive. Yake put the bear next to Vegapunk. Vegapunk was still studying the electromagnetic rifle wholeheartedly, and he looked up after a while. Oh, let me see, it's okay. They're all minor injuries. I can repair them in a short time, but it will take a few days to regain consciousness. He needs some stimulation, leave it to me. Vegapunk circled around the bear and nodded. The bear's current condition has exceeded his expectations. He thought the bear's body should be very broken. How long will it take? I need his ability now. Yake has an idea that needs to be tested by the bear. With the fruit ability of the bear, whether it can pop out the ability of demon fruit power, and then cooperate with Rayleigh to directly take out the devil fruit alive. This idea has been in Yake's heart for a long time. He wants Hancock to eat the soul fruit. The sweet fruit is very strong, but now Hancock's physical skills have far exceeded the development level of devil fruit. In short, the sweet fruit restricts the development of Hancock, and the soul fruit is the ability of the four emperors and Yake hopes that someone he trusts can eat it. This is just an idea. If it doesn't work, Yake can only let the people of the City Defense Army eat this devil fruit. Plus the lightning training device I have recently developed, 10 days, at most 10 days, I am sure to restore the bear's consciousness. Vegapunk thought for a while and said, giving Yake an accurate time. Well, Dr. Vegapunk, I trust you. Vegapunk said so, and Jacques was too embarrassed to ask any more, so he left the bear after leaving Vegapunk here. As for the lightning training instrument, it is the latest result of Vegapunk's research on Yake. It is a training instrument developed according to Yake's thunder and lightning body training idea, and the soldiers of the Sky Kingdom rely on it for daily training. Advertisement. Although it is not as good as Yake's own use of lightning to strengthen himself, it can greatly improve the physical fitness and will of soldiers, and there are no side effects. Yake did not let Vegapunk study for nothing, and such research results came out not long after it came. Blue tilde. Hi, I'm Yake, what's the matter? Robin's anxious voice came from the phone bug. Yake, someone has invaded the kingdom of God in the sky. It is the CP Chief Changbai Ghost. He brought a large number of pacifists and CP agents out of nowhere. What? Did it come all the way from the top of the western sky? Wait, I'll be right there. Yake frowned, realizing that this was definitely a premeditated attack by the world government. They have arrived at Angel Island, Fujitora, Fanoka and the others have already gone to fight. After saying this, Robin hung up the phone. Yake took a deep breath, and there was a monstrous anger hidden under the calm appearance. Angel Island. Ha 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 ha, give it to me, pacifist zombie. Standing on the bow of the boat, Bai Yu laughed wildly. The pacifists he brought this time were a bit abnormal. He ate the shadow fruit reborn after Yake killed Moria. With the support of the world government, his shadow army is countless times stronger than Moria's. Moria uses dead bodies to create zombies, but they are far inferior to the bodies of pacifists, and pacifists with shadow consciousness are stronger than mere programs. Because he has a mind. A full 100 pacifists were raging on Angel Island, and the continuous emission of laser light broke the tranquility here. Gravity Knife Tiger. Darkness descends, Room Baton. The members of the Ark Pirates fought hard against the wind, but there were too many enemies, and they were no longer the pacifists who could easily destroy them. The captains of the City Defense Army are also fighting bloody battles, desperately protecting the safety of the Kingdom of God in the sky. Let the people evacuate first. 181. White Ghost's Trick. Bai Yugui was very proud to see Angel Island in a mess. The miraculous Kingdom of the Sky that was rumored by the outside world is nothing more than that. With just 100 pacifist zombies, he gained the upper hand. This is only his first wave of combat power. Yake hasn't played yet, and he is also happy to watch the show. Damn pacifists. Why are there so many? When will the captain come? Reiju had to deal with a dozen pacifists by himself, which seemed a little difficult. If it was an ordinary pacifist, Reiju would be able to deal with them easily, but now they can hide, run, and work together. Every pacifist's zombie combat power is equivalent to 200 million pirates with a bounty, and this is where White Spectre's confidence lies. The army of pacifist zombies is dispatched at the same time, and he is confident that he can destroy any small country in the world. There was thunder in the sky, and the people of the Ark Pirates turned their worries into joy, and the captain finally came. Superplanetary devastation. Yark has been locking all the pacifists in the air and dropping the gravitation point, and now it's time to wrap up. Pacifist zombies are very strong, but their bodies contain a lot of metal materials, which become weak points in front of Yark. The pacifists flew into the sky uncontrollably and gathered in the supermagnetic center made by Yak. Laser light shoots out uncontrollably, but the supermagnetic center is invisible and intangible unless they abandon this mechanical body. Go to hell with me. Thunder billowed, continuously descending on the pacifist. Giant ball. In the air, as if a fierce chemical reaction had occurred, it exploded, mechanical stumps flew all over the sky, and fell to every corner of Angel Island. The black shadows danced frantically, and finally gathered in the body of the white ghost. The members of the Ark Pirates on the ground breathed a sigh of relief, as expected of the captain. The Ark pirates listened to the order and evacuated the people for refuge, and left the rest to me. Yake's body was filled with lightning, and he landed slowly on the White Ghost's boat. Yake in the flashing thunder is like a god, overlooking the White Ghost lightly. His expression is as calm as stagnant water, and Conqueror's hockey is almost substantive. You are very courageous. It's a pity that I didn't kill you last time. Fortunately, I still have a chance this time. Yake's whole body exuded a trembling cold aura, and the expression on his face was like the frost of the 12th lunar month, unilaterally announcing the death sentence of Bai Yuling. Advertisement, ha 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 ha, no shame, pacifists are just an appetizer, come out. Bai Yuling laughed angrily, clapped his hands, and 4 tall figures came out of the cabin. 4 pairs of dead fish stared at Yake, and his body exuded a rotten breath. The corpses of criminals with a bounty of more than 1 billion, stuffed with the shadows of ferocious criminals, they are the most perfect killer zombies. Moria is really a waste, and the shadow fruit can only exert its strongest power in my hands. After the Summit War, Bai Yui became the only CP chief, and his authority was greatly improved, especially after the awakening of the fruit ability. The world government attached great importance to it. The criminals in Impel Down are all his materials. He can get all kinds of corpses and shadows as he likes, create the strongest zombies, and use the shadow fruit's ability to ultimate. Do you think they can stop me? There is no wave in Yake's heart, and the world government still has no idea of his own strength. If Vegapunk is a scientist who is 500 years beyond human wisdom, then Yake is a combat power 500 years beyond human beings. Yake didn't pay attention to the little zombie. HMPH, my zombies are far more than that. The White Ghost's boat trembled for a while, and countless zombies broke out of the boat. At a glance, there were at least a few hundred of them, staring at Yake, and the breath of each zombie was not weak. Yake didn't make a move and continued to watch Bai Ghost's performance. Let me show you what the real creator is, Shadow Fusion Super Zombie. White Spectre waved his hands, and a black energy swept across the zombies on the ship, and the shadows in the zombies' bodies began to merge with each other. Guoying Yingxi's ability can control and change the shape of the shadow, and then change the shape of the entity. After awakening, it can even make the shadow merge, and the combat power increases geometrically. Slowly, a condensed black figure appeared in front of the White Ghost, and the corpses of all the zombies also began to merge. Yake frowned. It was so disgusting. It was a Cthulhu monster, and the sand value plummeted. The black shadow merged with the body of the super zombie, and hundreds of eyes opened at the same time, making Yake's scalp tingle. Yake said with disgust, "Your aesthetics are simply disgusting. How did you make such an ugly thing? I'm you." What's wrong with being ugly? Strength is the only thing. Advertisement by Phantom didn't care about Yake's taunt, and got into the body of the super zombie, making the scalp-tingling combination fist of the intensive phobia patient raised high and smashed down. Boom. Yake directly broke up the super zombie's body with a punch, but quickly gathered together to form a new monster and continued to attack Yake. Ha 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 ha, it's useless. Zombies are originally made of corpses. I is invincible. Hidden in the rotten meat, the White Ghost smiled triumphantly, as if mocking Yake's overreach. Then kill it again, Tilda. Yake doesn't believe in invincibility. He doesn't even dare to say that he is absolutely invincible. First use thunder and lightning to bathe him. Thunderbolt Torrent. Thunder God's Punishment. Thunder Hell Azure Dragon Annihilation. Yake threw a set of combos on Bai Yuling's face, and the super zombie suddenly fell into a sea of thunder. The blue dragon was biting the body of the super zombie, and the burnt smell from the roasted corpse began to spread. Didn't you say you were invincible? I'll turn your body into coke. Don't worry, it won't be long before you die. Yake flew to the distance to watch, never forgetting his identity as a thunder mage. The main reason is that it is too smelly to hold. Ah, damn it. You lied to me. I'm not afraid of thunder and lightning at all. Bai Yuling simply stopped pretending. The zombie didn't feel pain at all, and it was over. Thunderbolt could indeed reduce the number of corpses he could use, but the super zombie was made up of hundreds of corpses, so he still had a lot of time. Go to hell. The super zombie rushed to Yake bathed in thunder and lightning, and was able to fly in the air. Yake admitted that he had underestimated the White Ghost. Shenluo Tianzheng. The majestic repulsive force erupted loudly, sending the super zombie flying, splashing flesh and blood, but it was quickly roasted into charcoal by lightning. Yake looked helplessly at the super zombie who rushed up again. It's really troublesome. 182. Gaia. Energy Cannon. Yake pretended to dig out his trouser pocket. That's right, that's it. Yake scanned the storage bar and found a small piece of sea stone essence that he had left behind. He was not afraid of sea stone, but he was terrified of other demon fruit power. You know, the effect of sea stone essence is hundreds of times stronger than ordinary sea stone. Just such a small piece is enough for Bai Ghost to drink a pot. Yake hid the essence of sea stone in his hands, and faced the super zombies rushing up with a smile. Sign. C tilde like the sound of a knife being inserted into a pork chop. Yake's fist sank deeply into the super zombie's chest, put down the sea stone essence and pulled it out. The super zombie who was unstoppable just now froze in place, trembling uncontrollably. You, what did you do? White Ghost's frightened voice came from the super zombie, and the huge super zombie began to decompose and fester. Under the influence of the sea stone essence, the fusion shadows began to separate automatically, turning into translucent phantoms one by one. Huh? Yake was a little strange. The shadow did not return to the original owner's body after touching the sea stone, and now the sky is covered with dense black shadows, like the end of the world. White Spectre emerged from a pile of rotten meat, His eyes were gloomy, and his body was covered with rotten meat. I didn't expect you to be called a god would play these little tricks, but it doesn't matter, let you see the difference between me and Moria, that trash. The white ghost retreated in stature, moved away from Yake, and took out a black box from his shadow. Using the power of the world government, I obtained countless shadows. Thank you for not killing all the prisoners and impelled down, the quality of the shadows they provided is very good. With a crooked smile, Bai Yuling opened the shadow box in his hand, countless shadows rushed out of the shadow box, and the entire battlefield was dyed black, whether it was the sky or the ground. I can freely control the power of nearly 10,000 shadows, this is the difference between me and Moria, tremble. Ha 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 ha. Advertisement, shadow gathering place. The black shadows all over the sky swarmed into the white ghost's body, using Devil Fruit's ability to suck all the shadows under his control into his body, making himself bigger and increasing his strength. His destructive power can destroy an island with one palm, to crack. This requires great mental power control. If the mental power is not enough to support it, it will lose consciousness or go berserk. Moria's mental power is completely incomparable to that of White Ghost. Bai Yugui himself is a CP leader who has experienced many battles, willpower and strength. Correspondingly, he can bear more shadows and the upper limit of strength is stronger. After absorbing nearly 10,000 shadows, his consciousness is still clear, and his body is somewhat taller than that of Oz the Murderer. His roar resounds throughout the world. See? This is the strongest power in the world. I will crush you like an ant. I am the real god? Hey, that's too exaggerated. Yake looked at the gigantic white ghost with solemn eyes. Would it be so big that if he moved it, he would knock out his god house? Oh tilde, if I knew it earlier, I wouldn't pretend to be aggressive, just beat him to death. Yake shook his head, and took out the demon fruit power treasure, made by the sea stone essence researched by Vegapunk. Hope it's true what Vegapunk said. Yake carried the giant cannon on his shoulders and aimed at the gigantic white ghost. Gaia energy cannon. Boom. A blue energy cannon shot into White Ghost's chest, and White Ghost had no time to dodge. The sea stone essence was embedded in White Ghost's body, and White Ghost began to leak air. Ah, it's sea stone again. Damn it. Bai Yugui kept spitting out shadows, and his body gradually became smaller. A demon fruit power dares to be rampant in front of me, cut. Yake blew on the mouth of the cannon disdainfully, put the Gaia cannon into the storage rack, and walked slowly towards the shrinking White Ghost. Ever since he knew the restraining effect of sea stone essence on Devil Fruit's ability value, Yake immediately asked Vegapunk to research sea stone essence weapons. He originally wanted to see if he could deal with Uranus, but he didn't expect Bai Yugui to send him as a target. Advertisement: the threat of demon fruit power to Yake is already very small, and only those with pure physical skills can touch Yake. The gigantic white ghost Yake can also be killed directly, but it will take some time. It is better to take it away with one shot, so as not to cause AoE damage and destroy the kingdom of the sky. The white ghost is not worthy. Yake stepped on Bai Yugui's head and said condescendingly, "White ghost, did the 5 elders send you here?" White Spectre had no power to resist, and his whole body was limp and powerless under the influence of the sea stone essence, like a pile of mud, staring blankly at the ground. "No. That's right, the 5 elders sent me here, please spare me, I'm just following orders." Cough cough cough. Bai Yuling spoke weakly, and coughed up a cloud of black blood. Yake avoided in disgust. HMPH, don't worry, I will send your head to 5 elders with a super gift package, go with peace of mind. Yake didn't want to talk nonsense with Bai Yuling, the cannon fodder, so he took out wolf powder and cut off his head directly, ending his sinful life. Captain, it seems that it has been resolved, thanks for your hard work tilde moi. A robin phantom grew on Yake's shoulder and kissed Yake's cheek, not caring about the plight of the white ghost. Robin, what about the loss at Angel Island? Yake packed up Bai Yugui's head and carried it in his hand, and someone would clean up the rest. Captain, 50% of the houses were damaged, and 30% of the public areas such as streets and roads were damaged. According to the public, 94 people died and 684 were injured. Mr. Luo is very busy in the hospital. Comfort the people, build a temporary shelter, let the construction team repair Angel Island and the streets as soon as possible, and wait for me to come. Okay Captain, I'll go to work first, goodbye. Robin on Yake's shoulders turned into petals and disappeared, leaving Yake alone looking at the headless body of the white ghost. Yake looked more and more annoying. Thunder God's punishment. A thunderbolt that fell from the sky destroyed Bai Yuling's body and wiped out all traces, and now Yake felt much more comfortable. On Angel Island, the people who took refuge have come over one after another. Konus organized a team to help build the temporary shelter spontaneously, and other residents also joined in the reconstruction of Angel Island, a scene of joy and harmony. Yake showed a sincere smile. This is the country he established, this is the kingdom of God in the sky. 183. Yake's counterattack. Yake watched secretly in the air for a while, but finally decided not to show up. Yake is very pleased that his own people can have such awareness. As a god, it is enough to protect the country and resist foreign enemies. The world government's counterattack plan this time made Yake very upset. Yake is the kind of person who must report his teeth. After thinking hard for a while, Yake came up with an idea. By the way, we still need Mao's help in this matter. So Yake rushed to find Anna in a hurry. Anna, come here, the captain has something to do with you. Mimimi tilde. Seeing that no one responded for a long time, Yake used the general call of the Blue Star Cat clan. Yaksama, I'm here. Hearing Anna's words, Yake looked around, but there was no one, and then he was attacked by the face-hugging cat and catbug. Damn it. I ignored Anna. Yake's only feeling is that Anna's breast volume has grown recently, and his contribution is indisputable. Boom tilde. Okay, the captain has something urgent to do with you, elbow me. Yake pulled Anna down and hurriedly carried Anna into the sky. Yaksama, what are you doing? I have to help the construction team drag the cement. Take you to throw a few islands to play. That's right, Jacques is going to take Anna to the island of Mariejoy to play. The Golden Lion has never done such a thing, and Jacques dares to do it. Now that the world government has been torn apart, Jacques will not swallow his anger. Anna said proudly. What a meow. That's great, Captain, I've wanted to try it for a long time. Tell me, what island to use to smash it? Recently, Shirahoshi's ability has become stronger and stronger. She is very shameless as a big sister. After smashing Mariejoy, she will go back and pretend to be a wave with Shirahoshi to stabilize her position as a big sister. Just use those. Yake pointed to a few deserted islands located on the White Sea. These are uninhabited islands that Yake moved up with nothing to do. They are not needed for the time being, so they are simply used for Anna to play. Punishment. Let me do it. Anna floated to the small island on her own, touched the palm lightly, and then changed to another group of islands. There are 7 or 8 deserted islands in total. With a shout from Anna, they all soar into the sky, which is quite spectacular. Advertisement, Yaksama, we elbow, you lead the way. Anna floated towards Yake, riding on Yake's neck to show off her power. With the size difference between Yake and Anna, it looked like a father with a daughter. Anna, sit still, the captain's car is fast. Yake pushed Anna's little butt to move her forward. No problem Yaksama, I'm already locked. Anna crossed her feet and firmly clamped Yake's neck. Night, Red Line, Holy Land Mariejoy. The nobles of the world, the residents of the Celestial Dragons, have 2 unexpected guests today. Above the dense clouds, Anna rode on Yake's neck, with scattered floating islands behind him. Yaksama, do you want to throw it away? I heard that there are many innocent slaves living here, will you? Anna was a little hesitant. She used to be a slave too, and she couldn't do it for fear of hurting innocent slaves. Well, Yake also fell into thinking when he heard Anna's words. It is not difficult for him to save these slaves, so, let's save them. Yes, Anna, you are right. You put an island near Mariejoy first, so that the slaves can evacuate, and I will rescue the slaves. It's dark now, which is convenient for Yake to move. Yaksama, I listen to you. Anna nodded quickly and let a floating sky island slowly land not far from Mariejoy. Yake killed the black-clothed guard guarding the main entrance, and signaled Anna to approach the island. Anna, don't act rashly now, wait for my order. Okay, Yaksama. Yake turned into a thunderbolt and disappeared in place, sneaking into the place where the slaves were held. Celestial Dragons has countless slaves, but there are only a handful of favored slaves, and there is no eternally favored slave. Once Celestial Dragons gets tired of playing, they will be ruthlessly abandoned and spend their days in this dark and damp underground prison. The guards here are very weak, and Yake easily brought the 2 down and walked into this invisible place. ZZZ tilde. Advertisement Yak released 3 or 2 dazzling thunderballs, lighting up the dungeon. Celestial Dragons are really. Yake took a deep breath to calm himself down. There is still no light in the eyes of these slaves. They are already numb and have lost hope for their future life. Even if they are illuminated by strong light, they still have blank eyes, leaning against the wall blankly. Do you want to go out? Yake's cold voice spread throughout the dungeon. Slowly, the slaves raised their heads and stared at the tall and strong man in front of them. It's useless. Even if you opened the prison door, we couldn't escape from Mariejoy, and finally got caught by the dogs of Celestial Dragons. A relatively strong man said slowly, he is an older slave, he may have been very popular with Celestial Dragons, and he knows the defenses here like the back of his hand. After Yake finished speaking, he turned and prepared to leave. On Mariejoy, there are many such dungeons. Under Bidden, Master Yake, please call me Old Bidden. Go and notify Marine. I am Yake. Maybe someone has heard my name. There is a deserted island outside. You can escape from the main entrance, and my men will send you away. Haha, what's your name? The shrill siren broke the tranquility of the holy place. With Bidden's help, Yake found the slave gathering place much faster. Yake had already killed many black-clothed bodyguards in advance and blocked Mariejoy's signal. As long as the people in the monitoring room were not stupid, Yake's actions it won't be long before it's revealed. Live for a chance to kill the Celestial Dragons. The man just came out of the cell without hesitation, knelt in front of Yake, looked up at Yake, his eyes shone with light that had never been seen before. Damn, someone has invaded Mariejoy, woo tilde. Yake snapped his fingers, and all the cell doors opened automatically. This is a rare opportunity for you to change your destiny. If you don't want to leave, I won't stop you, because this place will soon become ruins. Ahem, Old Biden, then you can go with me to save more people. Yake found 18 Celestial Dragons family residences and rescued tens of thousands of slaves. The rescued slaves slowly gathered on the uninhabited island under the cover of night. Hearing the name, Yake couldn't help but look at this guy more. This old boy has the appearance of a great emperor. 5 elders noticed something was wrong and immediately issued an order. Master Yake, I am willing to help you. I want revenge on the Celestial Dragons. 184. Dumplings in the pot. Yake scratched his head helplessly. Oh, it's still discovered. Master Yake, what should we do? The Tianlong guard is coming soon, why don't we fight him? The old Biden directly exploded his clothes, and he was ready to fight the celestial dragons to the death. There's no need, you run away quickly, leave the rest to me. Yake grabbed old Biden's hand and threw him on the uninhabited island, urging the freed slaves to go to the island quickly. Since Yake decided to save people, he certainly hoped that the survival rate would be higher to avoid unnecessary losses. Hurry up! Yake looked at the mighty crowd and gritted his teeth. Celestial Dragon's guards had already shot and killed people in the rear. Can't wait any longer, Lei Yijin. Yake took out a large piece of metal from the storage bar and cast it into a large iron sheet, which wrapped the slaves who had no time to escape and pushed them to the island. Anna, let the island rise. Maybe there are still slaves who haven't come up, but Yake has no time to wait for them. Thunderbolt torrent. After killing all the guards he could see, Yak got up and flew into the air. Anna, throw it there, here, Yake pointed out several celestial dragons' family residences, and asked Anna to throw the deserted island to the place pointed by Yake. Hey Tilda, leave it to Anna Meow. Chow Wei buy Meow dumplings in the pot. Most of Anna's moves are named after the action of cooking. Yake has already been unable to complain. Let Yake estimate that the name is Chow Tiandong Vientian. However, Anna's name was indeed appropriate, and the island squirmed and landed like dumplings, pointing directly at Marie-Joyce's celestial dragons. Then, what is that? It's an island, run away. Damn it, take me away. The noise made by Yake woke up the celestial dragons long ago, but they have been watching the fire from the other side, and now the fire is burning on them, and the celestial dragons in the areas designated by Yake are the most desperate. Boom, flames, loud noises, and cries, this is Marie-Joy now. Advertisement, by the way, I almost forgot. Yark threw the tightly wrapped head of the white phantom to the holy place where the Marie-Joy world government met, where the 5 elders were active. Yake yawned. Let's go, Anna, I'm going back to sleep. Obey, Yaksama. Anna raised a military salute in a funny way, and controlled the deserted island full of slaves to return to the kingdom of Sky God. Boom. It makes no sense. An old man with a long beard kicked Bai Yui's dead head away angrily, his eyes were bloodshot, and he was panting like a cow. Have the deaths of the celestial dragons been counted? My lord. Say it, an agent in black tremblingly read out the report in his hand. In this attack, a total of 23 adults died heroically, and 34 adults were seriously injured. Emergency evacuation of the remaining adults has been arranged. As for the slaves, the faces of the 5 old men were not very good. This time, Yake caused too much damage to Marie-Joy. Although the dead celestial dragons did not seem to be many, in fact, there were not many celestial dragons in each family. Among the 23 celestial dragons who died, 2 families were completely annihilated. They, the 5 elders, bore the brunt of the responsibility, and the reprimands of the surviving celestial dragon's family patriarch had drowned several of them. It's too crazy. We must eradicate Yake as soon as possible. His existence has affected the balance of this world. That's right, if we let his development continue, maybe the celestial dragons will be exterminated next time. We should ask Lord I Am for instructions and dispatch Uranus to let them know that we are the masters of this world. It's all your fault. If you didn't let Bai Yui go to the god of Sky Kingdom to take revenge on Yake, how could it cause his backlash? Blame me. My proposal was unanimously agreed by everyone. Now that you have suffered such a big loss, you don't think about how to remedy it, but instead shirk your responsibility. I have reason to suspect that you have ulterior motives. The 2 5 elders members quarreled, blowing their beards and staring. The black-clothed agent didn't dare to show his breath, for fear of causing eyebrows. Enough. The bald old man holding the first-generation goosh stopped the quarrel between the 2. The World Summit is about to start. Our primary goal is to repair Marie-Joy. When the meeting starts, we will openly discuss how to deal with Yake and his country. Now, let's go to Lord I Am for instructions. Advertisement, yes. After the 2 quarreled, the old men tidied up their skirts and returned to their usual calm appearance. They each snorted coldly and sat down gracefully in their seats. Shua. The first-generation ghost got out of its sheath and plunged into the heart of the black-clothed agent, with a strange halo wrapped around the knife. Why? The black-clothed agent had a confused look on his face. Did he have to die? You know too much. The first-generation ghost slowly withdrew its sheath, and the black-clothed agent had shrunk into a dry corpse. A middle-aged man said loudly, and his words were also the voices of others. The kingdom of God in the sky. If you still have relatives in this world and want to go home, I won't stop you. On the contrary, I will give you some Baileys to let you go home. The slaves stayed up almost all night because they smelled freedom and couldn't sleep because they were so excited that they were no longer slaves of the celestial dragons, but a real human being. Oh, long live Yake-sama. Just put the island next to Angel Island. Yake smiled. Of course, you can settle down here first and learn about my country in advance. At that time, you will definitely be eager to join. Those who have nothing to worry about, those who want to join the kingdom of God in the sky stand on the left, and those who want to go home stand on the right. Master Yake, thank you, Master Yake, your kindness, we will never forget it. There were cheers one after another, and some people shed tears. They got a new life. Master Yake, I want to join the kingdom of God in the sky, but my family is still in North Blue. Can I go home first and bring my family to the kingdom of God in the sky? Boom. Quiet, I am God Yake, this is my country, the kingdom of God in the sky. If you are homeless, you are welcome to join the kingdom of God in the sky and become my people. Yake said a few words briefly. They have been slaves for so long. Yake also hopes that they can reunite as soon as possible. Yake thought silently in his heart. These days, Robin and the others will start to get busy again. Fortunately, the Sky God Kingdom has enough manpower now, and there are still places in the residential areas of Burka and the Gate of Heaven. With more than 10,000 slaves, Yake brought almost all the slaves of celestial dragons here. This time, he saved many more people than Fisher Tiger. 185. Big Bear wakes up 9 Snake Island. Honey, you did a great job. Hancock shouted excitedly when he read the content reported in the newspaper, his delicate and boneless body pressed tightly against Yake's chest. The contents of the newspaper recorded the feats of Yake and Anna a few days ago, which caused a great shock in the world. This is definitely a huge blow to the reputation of celestial dragons. 23 celestial dragons died. People in the world finally know that the descendants of the so-called creator are no different from them. They will die and get injured. This is the biggest effect of killing celestial dragons. Yake stroked Hancock's smooth back and said lightly, killing the celestial dragons in Saboti did not cause much repercussions, and subsequent reports were suppressed by the world government. By the way, my dear, I want to choose some of the slaves you rescued to join our Amazon kingdom. Do you think it's okay? Hancock leaned on Yake's back and murmured that these slaves reminded her of her own experiences. Snapped. Yake pretended to be angry and slapped Hancock's butt with his big hand, causing waves. Ah Tilda. Look at what you said. We're one. The experience of female slaves is even more tragic. Some even have phobias towards men. It's good to send them to you. Yeah, honey, I was wrong. Can you give me a chance to make up for it? Hancock's big misty eyes looked at Yake coquettishly, and his smooth thighs rubbed lightly on Yake's body. Hiss Tilda. Yake's hairs stand on end at once. Hancock is really good at it. Bold snake demon, I want you to help me practice. Sit up and move yourself. Yake lay on the bed with his hands open, presenting a wooden shape. Hancock gave Yake a white look and lowered his head. After paying the public rations, Jacques stood in front of the palace with Hancock in his arms to enjoy the scenery. Blue Brew Tilda. Hi, I'm Yake. What's the matter? Yake took out the phone bug, and at a glance, he knew it was Vegapunk. Yake couldn't complain about this messy hairstyle. The bear has woken up, and he wants to see you. Really? Great, I'll be right there. Advertisement? Yake's face brightened. Unexpectedly, the bear had regained consciousness in just a week. Vegapunk still has something. Hancock, you come with me. Yake tied Hancock's hair behind her ear and looked into Hancock's eyes. Uh-huh. Naturally, Hancock would not be absolute with Yake, and obediently lay on Yake's shoulder, allowing Yake to take her off. Bye-bye hi, the research base. Shang stood upright by the wall. Although he had regained consciousness, his mind was in a mess. Vegapunk helped Shang check his body and test his body functions with an instrument. Well, it doesn't seem to have any effect. Fortunately, your consciousness has not been asleep for a long time, otherwise even I would not be able to help you. Vegapunk put away the instrument. There is no major problem with the bear's body, it just needs to get used to it for a while. Thank you, Mr. Vegapunk. I didn't expect so many things to happen after I lost consciousness. I still need a while to digest. Should be, but Yake is coming soon. He seems to need your ability. Mr. Yake. I see. Knock knock, come in. Yake walked into Vegapunk's research room with Hancock, who was a little bird, and saw the bear standing by the wall blankly. Yake smiled. Bear, congratulations on your rebirth. Bear looked down at Yake and got down on one knee. Thank you, Mr. Yake, for your rescue. If there is a need for me, I will do my best. Yake waved his hand. Ha ha ha, isn't it a coincidence, isn't it? I happen to have a place that needs your help. Hancock, come here. Yake pulled Hancock to his side, and Hancock was a little shy, with a blush on his face. This is my fiancée, Boa Hancock, one of the former Shichibukai. Bear, you should know her. Yake briefly introduced Hancock, and Hancock was the one who was most excited. This was the first time Yake disclosed her identity to the public, and her eyes on Yake became more and more fiery. Miss Boa Hancock, I have heard that I am Bartholomew Big Bear. Yake looked at Shang expectantly. Ahem, Shang, it's like this. I remember you were a fleshy fruit ability user. Now you can develop to eject the fatigue and injuries of the human body out of the body, right? That's right. Shang seldom talks. In fact, his ability has been awakened long ago, but he doesn't like to brag. Then can you try to eject the ability of demon fruit power out of the body? I want to change Hancock's ability, so. Advertisement bear. I can try it, but I can't guarantee it will work. Shang secretly clicked his tongue in his heart. Mr. Yake's brainhole is simply too strong. This is a road that has never been imagined. Although he is not absolutely sure, he believes in his ability. Well, try it, don't put too much pressure. Yake expressed his understanding, and suddenly found that Hancock was pulling his pants, and couldn't help turning to look at Hancock. What's the matter? Hancock, don't you want to? A trace of entanglement flashed in Hancock's eyes, and he whispered. Yake, I am afraid that after losing the sweet fruit, I will not be the most beautiful woman in the world, I am afraid. Before Hancock finished speaking, Yake sealed Hancock's mouth, and after a long time, he separated, pulled out a silver thread, and closed his eyes fiercely, while Vegapunk looked at the two with interest. Hancock, don't be afraid, you are a natural beauty, don't worry, no matter what you become, my love for you will never change. Oh Tilda. Hancock should agree, Jacques thinks so. Bear, come and try. Shang slowly opened his eyes, and gracefully took off his gloves, revealing his lovely pink flesh pads. Offended, Miss Hancock. The bear walks up to Hancock, and the pink pads aim at Hancock. Yake's eyes were fixed on the bear's pad, for fear of missing any details. Boom tilde. However, nothing happened. Bear. Yake. Hancock. Vegapunk. I'm sorry Lord Yake. I can't do it. The energy of devil fruit is in every corner of her body, and there is no way to pop it out alone. Shang said with a guilty face, a little embarrassed that he failed to help Yake. No need to apologize, Mr. Shang. Let me think again. Yake was still a little disappointed, but it was not the bear's fault. Under normal conditions, there is no way, so what is abnormal? Yake opened the door to the new world.